Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. So, yep. And here you also want to give a shout out to the individual. Let me see if I can actually go back to their comment here because they actually mentioned like, "Yo, says you should do a live stream about it." I think it was like G Sam's, if I am correct. Let me see. I gotta check. Responses. But I can't find it because of how they did the messages in the background, which is a little bit weird. But much love, respect, and appreciation, and shout out to that person who brought that out, who stated that. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight and go over the fact that a lot of folks, Africans, have stated that Black Americans don't have a culture, and it's going to play directly into the topic dealing with the Nigerian festival. Yo, what is up, Bushido? What is up? What is up? What is up? So let's rehash and go over, some of these videos and line this up real quick.
Between the Black American culture and the Swazi culture?
Um, when it comes to culture and cultural things, I don't think Black Americans have any. I don't know. There's none that I know of. Unlike us, we have the reed dances, we have Bo, Ingala, and everything. I don't know about theirs.
What type of music do you listen to?
I think we listen to, I'd say all types of music, but what we vibe to more is, I'll start with gospel.
Okay.
Yeah. We do
And
listen to,
where does gospel music come from?
it comes from all over the world. Like everyone makes it. I do listen to, I listen to
Okay.
Chandler Moore. I listen to,
Okay.
yes, I listen to Chandler Moore. I listen to Hill. Is it Hill song?
Okay.
What? And then I also do listen to our own music.
Now,
Like,
those two artists you mentioned, where are they from?
I think Chandler Moore is from, is it from the States? Not
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I think it's from the Chandler Moore.
Okay, but so that's the response, right? Like Black Americans will listen to that. You say Black Americans don't have culture, but gospel music is Black American culture.
We also do, like, I wasn't done. We also do have, like, I was starting with Poch and Lamo because you know them.
Yeah.
We also have our own, like, we have Black people, like in South Africa, Wondogo Zombambo. We have, there's a new one. Oh, she makes good gospel music. Ndogo Zomkize. Yes, like we also have a lot.
Okay, but the culture started with Black Americans.
How sure are you?
Gospel
Wow.
music?
How sure are you?
So in let's say the 90s or the 80s, before these South African gospel singers came around, it was only a Black American thing, gospel music. At least the type. I mean, I've been here. I've heard a lot of gospel music, and it's Black American music.
How sure are you, Guti, in the 90s and in the 80s we're not making gospel
So
music?
where did gospel music come from then?
It came from the Bible. They're inspired by the Bible.
Okay, but there's not only gospel. There's hip hop. There's R&B. All of these things. You guys listen to it a lot here.
But we do listen to it. Not a lot, but we do listen to it. We could say maybe for hip hop and for R&B
We could
they
say
came
that's
from Black
crazy.
Americans.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I was
What?
young. I probably wasn't even born at the time. I don't know. But with gospel music, I feel like we're all inspired by the Bible, to be honest.
Okay. So you're not sure if hip hop came from Black Americans.
I think it came from Black Americans.
Okay.
I
Jesus
think.
Christ.
So what do you know that came from Black Americans?
Right? Her last reply was nothing. So you're now I just want to go over this again. That's a South African woman, right? who was getting interviewed, and she didn't want to give Black Americans credit on nothing. When it dealt with rap, hip hop, R&B, she was like, maybe I guess you could say word. That's what we're doing. So Africans they're just out here creating everything. They're just out here creating every single music genre, including doing country. Now, I would love for her to explain to me, how did Africans create country music? And I'm not trying to hear no African be like, oh well, we got country. Why would you have that? That doesn't even make any sense. What amongst you in the areas that you live would you have country music, and for what reason? It doesn't make any. You don't even have a history for you to even have country music, let alone any of the other music that Black Americans have created. And then she wanted to, once she started getting caught up in everything, and the guy was like, well, Black Americans, created gospel. And there was proof listed directly in the video. She was like, well, you know, everything comes from the Bible. Word, brother, you just moving everything around. Oh my God, the stupidity. Like and the craziest part is a lot of these Africans, they go around and they copy, they emulate, they cosplay as Black Americans, and then come directly online, as you're able to see here, and state that we don't have culture, we don't have this, we don't have that, right? So let's go to the next example of this. And again, I gotta line these up because we're going to do those generalities, as a lot of these folks like to say. They didn't say specific Black Americans, they're stating Black Americans in general, right? So we're going to generalize this African culture pretty soon. So let's look at this.
But what is the culture? Bro, let me educate you. Every culture starts from a language, a tribe. Every tribe have a language. What is it? Apart from English, what other language do Americans speak? The Black Americans. The Mexicans in America speak Spanish. They have something they speak outside English. The Asians the Chinese, everybody speak their language outside English. What do you speak? What is the trace of your culture you're talking about? What is American culture? I want to know, what is the Black American culture? I keep hearing this culture. Bro, the Black Americans are the culture, maybe baby mama culture. Baby single women having 3 kids. That's probably their culture. Or the numbers of the highest incarcerated Black young men in America. That's their culture. I don't know. Is it the pim culture? The gang banging culture? Is that the culture? Bro.
So let me just freeze it right there. See, this is what I be talking about. Is another African dude. Again, who's it? Say it's Nigerian? Yeah, of course. He was like, oh, is it the pimping culture? Is it the bang bang, the pew pew culture, the pimping culture? Word, that's all you know. Now, mind you, dude got a full-on hat, chain, all of that. For me, I'm looking at somebody that looks as if they were trying to copy some stuff maybe from like the 2000s. Right? That's how it's looking directly to me. But yet they claim that they got all of this culture, but yet they emulate us. Every single time I see any of these Nigerians, any of these Africans directly out here, oddly enough, they are dressed like a Black American. I'm like, how do you do that? I'm like, what happened to the African garbs, the Nigerian garbs that you guys basically wear? Like, where is all of that at? Right? Like, what happened? But Black Americans are the ones who know. Okay, all right.
Bro, the Black American culture is about wearing, let's say, wearing the Nikes, wearing just they want to be on the trend game. These are the culture. But I don't know why the Black Americans feel like they should be the center of Black people around the world, or they should be the face of Black people around the world. Why? Bro, you can have your face. See, you don't even have to declare yourself that you are not African, you are not African American. Bro, nobody give a flying damn about what you think about yourself. That's your own opinion and your own mentality, your own narrative of everything, how you are. That nobody cares. But bringing all your fights about Africa, bro, I don't get it. You talk about culture every time. What is the culture? I want to know. Genuinely, I'm asking. The hip hop. You want to say the hip hop? The music is your culture. I don't get it. Eminem is not Black, but he do more hip hop probably than the Black Americans. I don't get the culture you're talking about. Maybe because you guys dominate the basketball, the sports game in America. You guys dominate. Is that the culture? Sport is not culture, bro. Let me educate you. You don't have any language you speak outside English. You don't have a tribe. You don't, bro. Culture has traces. You don't have any culture, but you always say culture. Bro, you don't have culture. Your culture is about dressing, looking nice, and wearing Nikes. They will tell you that they have the Nike. Bro, Nike is owned by a white man. I want to educate you on that too. The Nike is owned by a white man. They will tell you, hey, Michael Jordan.
I spoke about African Americans are the only people who don't have culture. And I got toast in this country. Nobody bothered to look into that. Do you know what culture does and why when you walk into a country you can see it? Culture promises something. So people work in it because of the promise it made you. Communities promise something. You see the Chinatown, why do you think any Chinese who arrive go straight there? They could live anywhere because the community they formed promises something. And when you're there, they won't fail you. Flushing, the Koreans, it promises you something. Little Tokyo in LA, it promises you something. Community is not just good-looking people renting houses together. No. Has nothing to do with the quality of the homes or the cars you own. It's if I live here, what are they promising me? That is based on what you are looking for. The three things: safety, love, respect, and growth. That's what communities promise.
Right. And I also want to list the whole thing about Chinatown and why it is that Asians basically go where it is that they go. That's because of segregation. So long ago, Asians were not allowed to live amongst white people, the same as a lot of other groups here in the United States. But whenever you hear a lot of these Africans, these Nigerians, for whatever reason, it's always the Nigerians with the biggest mouths directly out here that want to say something. Whenever you hear these Africans out here want to speak directly on Black Americans, this is what they want to talk about, right? So we're able to hear the men basically speak, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what was going on here.
A lot of women's plans, if the apocalypse happens, is to just off themselves. You want to know why? Because we know there are barely laws right now to protect us. Imagine what happens when there's no laws. I am one of those women. I have no plans on ever sticking around if shit goes left, because I know immediately what's going to happen. And it's currently happening in Nigeria. There is a festival apparently where for 7 days, women are encouraged to stay indoors, because if they don't, they get assaulted. There are men on the prowl looking for any woman on the street. Doesn't matter what she's on the street for. She could be going to the hospital because she's sick. She could be getting something for her child. She might be going to work to provide for her children. Doesn't matter. If she's outside within those 7 days, fair game for her. Some people are saying it's cultural. Some people are saying this is not, cultural and this has nothing to do with the actual tradition. Doesn't matter. Because it's the fact that there are enough of them that will do this. And to anybody that's about to say, oh, Nigeria has been like this. No. This is not a Nigeria problem. This is not just a Nigeria problem. This is an all over the world problem. We just recently were talking about the women in South Africa, where 1 out of 2 women are being assaulted. And there is a gang apparently in South Africa that has an initiation where to enter the gang, you have to go assault a woman. In Afghanistan, they just made it legal to just beat on your wife. Just the law said, go ahead. We watched a bunch of Somali men cry when the age limit was raised to 18 and then they took that away and now child marriage is still allowed. Oh, in America, you have a pedo as president, so don't even think you're free from this. And currently in ICE detention centers, both for women and young girls, the young girls are getting pregnant. How does that happen? Oh, we all know. The women are getting assaulted. Last year, there was a text message group chat of over 70,000 men, and it was them just discussing how to do this to their friends, families, and loved ones, just casually amongst each other. 70,000. The solution is simple, in my opinion. Start offing them. There's literally no other solution that I can think of, because there's no laws that protect women. There's no culture, religion that protects women. There's literally nothing that will protect women, and it will come down to us protecting us. Honestly, at this point, I have no words.
Hello.
Right. And I want to note that is obviously a Somalian woman. And I find it hilarious when she wants to talk about problems because she wanted to highlight. She listed the president of the United States as if that speaks for the whole of the United States, and it doesn't. Um, and again, that for me, that's very, very odd. And also knowing the fact that she is a Somalian woman, she is still a part of that culture. I'm looking at the way that she's dressed and everything of that nature. So I'm like, it's a little bit weird. You're complaining about the culture, but yet you still take part and pride in that exact same culture. And I'm pretty sure that the men that you live around are Somalian. I'm probably sure that the area that you more than likely live in is also Somalian. So it's crazy that you want to quote unquote you say that you're calling it out, but you're not really calling it out, right? And then you wanted to all lives matter the situation. You'll be like, well, this is a problem that's going on everywhere. We were just simply talking about one place at a time. We're dealing with Nigeria. I'm not sure how folks want to try to all lives matter this situation and to try to do this, that, and the third and all this. No, 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 no. Stay directly on topic. Stay directly on topic. Like I said, she was trying to bring in the whole of the United States. I'm like, no, no, no. You first of all, you as a Somali, you need not to say nothing about the United States. The way that y'all, families work, y'all need not to sit up there and speak on nothing. Realistically, y'all need to get that all straight. Like I said, it's crazy how you can look at 100,000 people and everybody looks the same. That is wild. That is wild. Everybody got the same forehead, brother. How is that even possible? Oh, I know how that's possible. But yeah, you can talk about you want to call stuff out and point stuff out. Yeah, you're all right. All right, brother. Yeah. Let's continue.
Honestly, at this point, I have no words.
Hello,
What's up,
everyone.
Tippy?
I'm sure we have seen the issue that's been
What's up,
happening,
brother Carl?
the festival happening in Ozoro, Delta State, Nigeria, where there is a culture or a practice where for 7 good days, that's a whole week, they say they are celebrating a festival where women are not advised to come outdoors, and if you come out, you would be harassed, assaulted, or you will be raped. Now, my problem with this is that this is something that's been happening for generations. And as an activist or somebody who is so passionate about females, it is very disturbing that this was even created in the first place. And the fact is that we still keep coming back to the conversation of the fact that females are not angry enough. Let's be frank, we are not angry enough because
No, 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 no. So this is the main thing on the list, directly to people. If you know tree frogs are naturally poisonous. They normally let you know by way of having brightly colored things directly on them. More so specifically, she has brightly colored hair. I'm not sure if she's gotten to the point yet where she's going to tell you that she's a feminist. But again, brightly colored hair, number one. Number two, the other thing that I know, if I'm playing this in my mind correctly, she's not going to touch on the fact that she is correct. This is a problem. Something needs to be done about this. But she's not going to mention the fact that there are women in her community that are protecting, that are sheltering the men that are going out there and doing this to their own communities, to their own women in those communities. Like I said, there's even videos. There was like a group of young Nigerian boys at the dead of dark rolling out there, trying to go out there and see what's happening. But I'm like, where the parents at? But I forgot we're dealing with Africa. We're dealing with Nigeria. They have, a lot of kids that don't have parents. So kids are raising kids. They're in droves, they're in groups. You got a lot of kids, you got a lot of parents or adults that don't even want to be parents. Right. And then on top of that, you got a lot of kids that are in orphanages. So it made sense, right? Why I was able to see videos of droves of young, and I'm talking about they were young. I'm talking about like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years of age out there at night with those grown men who are out there attacking those women. But like I said before, you have a lot of women out there that are protecting those men who did that to these women and sheltering those men. So I just want to state that because I get very tired when folks want to get online and they always want to do this feminist stuff and it's like, oh yeah, all men are the problem. All men are the problem. Women are the problem too. But let's continue.
This kind of act should have been condemned from the very beginning. It should never have even been allowed to happen, because these are women or females who would need to go out and make a living. They are the ones providing for the families. They are the ones putting food on the table, because some so-called gender who claim that they are the providers actually don't even do the actual work. This one, you come for me. I'm here for you people. Now, not to mar the whole thing and make it look like I'm the quote-unquote bitter, angry feminist as I've always been, which I'm proud of course.
Now you heard that. She said not to sound like a bitter feminist, bitter, jaded feminist or whatever, like I already am. Yeah. So again, all of that ideology from the United States has spread clearly directly over to Africa. This is why I told people before that the internet and information is a double-edged sword. So now the ways that you got women in the United States acting, you got women over there in Africa. Now they're taking it on. Now they're acting. Now they're sitting up there saying that, oh, the men of our communities, they're not even actual providers. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Okay. All right. And I could have sworn, didn't y'all have a culture like before everything was westernized or Europeans came directly over there? Didn't y'all have a system in place? Wasn't things just like naturally working? This wasn't even an actual conversation. This is how brainwashing works. And like I said, she's proud of it. She's happy about it because she thinks that she's really doing something at the end of the day. And the thing that she doesn't understand is that at the end, and this is just me being honest, the people that are going to stop the bad men out here are other men. That is the guard. That is the safeguard directly out here. If you try to tell women out here to go get self-defense training or to go arm up, a lot of times you'll hear women sit up there and say that, they're pacifist. They're not about, fighting. They're not about violence. They're not about weapons, even though we're living in a violent world. We're not in a peaceful world. I would understand if we lived in a peaceful world. Okay, in case I'm giving this example, this is not a peaceful world, right? If we lived in some type of peaceful utopia, I would understand if women wanted to be pacifists, right? I get it. Fine, no problem. But you don't have that option here. You don't have that option here. In case in point, looking at Nigeria, you really don't have that option here. Right? But like I said before, she wants to make it seem like men out here ain't doing nothing. All right. I guess she knows better than everybody else. Because,
I am here to have this conversation because we have made the matter normalized. We have normalized as a culture. We have normalized assault and harassment and abuse as part of us. It's not normal. Because explain to me why something like this has happened and you can still see individuals defending these barbaric acts. And you keep thinking about the fact that this is a father, this is a nephew, this is a brother, this is a uncle who definitely has females as family members. And you are thinking about it. You are trying to wrap your head around it. It's not making sense. So please, I want to put this out to everybody. Where we are, of course, where I am, I'm always related to where I am. Are we angry enough about the fact that there are more than 200 defilement cases currently in the DOFSO office that have been stalled or stopped because of insufficient evidence, unnecessary begging and pleading from community members and chiefs? Yes, these are cases that should have been handled and cleared a long time ago, but they are stuck at that office because somebody decided that being a family is more important than seeking justice for a survivor. Now, I'm not here to condemn, I'm not here to shout, I'm not here to talk plenty. But what I want to pass my message across, or what I want to say is that when I start talking and when I start making my points, if I see one single person that comes to say rubbish or nonsense, I am here for you people because honestly, I've been kind enough. I've been smiling enough. What is bad is bad. What should be condemned should be condemned. This kind of thing should not be happening in 2026. And for those who think that it cannot happen in your environment, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It can. And it probably might. It probably has been happening. But you have decided that because the fire is not in your house, it's not your business. Well, for me, as a mother, as a female, as a feminist, it is my business. And I will let everybody know categorically that anybody who tries to support this rubbish, we will come for you.
Right. Now, I see how she's like amping herself up, but she listed something 2 minutes ago where she said that those men, those young boys directly out there, they have women in their families. And again, like I said before, she didn't want to call out the women who she knows. I know she knows and you're in Africa. I know she knows for a fact that a lot of those guys are living with women, that women are sheltering them. But she don't want to call them out because she's a feminist. Because the only thing that feminists are supposed to do are call out the things that men do. You're not supposed to talk bad. You're not supposed to call out other women. Even if you say some stuff, you just let that slide because it's not more important than what it is that men are doing. Even if a woman is doing the exact same thing, it's not more important than if a man is sitting up there doing it because men are more dangerous. And she says she's raising a child. I noticed that she didn't say that she was raising a child and married. I noticed that she didn't say that she was raising a child and engaged or within a long time relationship. There's obviously no man directly in that household at all. Again, she's a feminist. And to also note that there are women, because I've seen cases of this as well too. There are women in certain areas of government where if they know that other women are trying to condemn or come after a man because of what he did to a woman, the women that are part of that system will protect those men. I've showcased a video like that before. So like I said before, just as much as you say that men are the problem being a feminist, women are just as much, if not more, because they can see the problem. They understand the problem because they're women or they have other women directly in their families, but yet they're part of the system and that allows quote unquote men to do this. And they're also going to protect the same men, basically allowing those men to go out there and still do the same things that they've been doing. But like I said, you're just going to keep, talking about men.
We will make sure we will not just come for you in votes. We'll come for you with evidence and facts. Because trust me, females, we're not angry enough.
What is this Ozoro festival that I'm hearing about in Nigeria where people are being raped, women are being raped? And it's not only women. I just heard an announcement of a man walking with his girlfriend and they dragged the girlfriend and he tried to save her and they raped the girlfriend in front of the man and then they raped the man. What is the world coming to and how is this acceptable? This is how you know the government is corrupt. And this is how you know the country needs like a deep bloody cleansing, because what the hell is actually going on? The fact that people are coming online and able to announce such a thing is absolutely ridiculous. People want to big up certain countries, but what is going on with something like this? Can someone please explain to me? Nigeria, what is going on? What's happening? Why is this acceptable? And for them to say, for the women to stay at home if you don't want to be a part of it. Where's the justice? It's 2026, not bloody 1962 or some crap. Like, what the hell? With all of this social media, technology and everything, how is something like this occurring? Easily can be prevented, right?
Oluremi Tinubu, it is a big slap on your face. It is a big shame and a big slap on your face to see that in your 4 years of being the First Lady of Nigeria, there is actually a festival called the Ozoro Grape Festival, where they are meant to grape girls, women, for 7 good days. And in the past 24 hours, you have not even come out to say anything on it. No speech has been released, not just to Oluremi Tinubu, all the whole government wives. You have not come out to address this whole issue. You have not come out. It's not just Oluremi Tinubu. I'm talking about all the whole government wives or governor's wife. It is actually a very big shame to you people. Pwah! It is a big shame that you all are allowing men to grape girls for 7 good days, yet they are no armed men. Nobody is being arrested, nobody is being abused, nobody is being killed. None of those men, and yet you all are still there. But when it's time for you all to actually go to other countries to actually attend the conference, that is where we will see you all. It's actually a very big slap on you all face. I mean, Tinubu, are you not ashamed? Apart from sharing of rice, what else again are you giving us? Are you giving us security? The girl child, I mean, they are not safe anymore. For 7 good days now, they are going to be graping girls, and yet you all have not said anything about it. It's a very big shame to you all. The City Boy movement, I'm so ashamed of you. Rubbish.
Right. So we were able to hear that, right? So one person said that they're sick of the different terminologies of unalived and grape. Well, you got to understand internet lingo and how you have to do videos. If you are not, if you don't watch enough content and you are not a content creator, you're just not going to understand. So for you, it's going to seem stupid, right? For people who make content and they have to understand the terms of services and how these platforms work, because obviously a lot of people who just watch content, they don't understand because they don't actually have to care about it. They just make a profile, log in, watch a few videos, log off. So yeah, people have to invent or rephrase different words in order to get a message directly out there, even if it means rewording some things. If people pay enough attention when it deals with certain things dealing with the war and governments directly out here, people have to heavily edit their words because they will get um censored to the max, pretty much. But again, a lot of people don't understand that because they don't make content, they only just consume it. So be like that. But pretty soon a lot of folks will understand. So just in case, if you don't like the fact of how it is that people have to use certain words on social media, I'm just going to tell you this right now. There's going to be a point in time that you're going to have to censor yourself as well, because there's already stories in the UK where people are getting visited by constables because of posts that they made on Facebook. So sooner or later, what you don't understand now, you will understand because it's going to be at your front door. And I'm talking about it will be happening sooner or later in the United States. They can monitor your phone, they can monitor your social media, they're monitoring you directly out and abroad. Basically, somewhat similar to China. It's just not out there as blatant. At least China's honest about it. The United States are like, oh no, you have freedom. Okay. But yet you're being surveilled. Even the police got cameras, but you don't got cameras. The police, businesses, and everything else can record you, but you can't record them. Okay. Hey, be like that. It be like that. I mean, it doesn't matter if they go to Congress directly about any of this stuff. It really doesn't. Also, for anybody here, this is a segue real quick because I was responding to a comment. What was it? Yeah, I was responding to Raxter real quick and just informing a lot of people. It doesn't matter if you go to Congress because they let me see. I'm trying to see your image here. Let me see something real quick. So are you American by chance? And what is your age? I'm talking specifically to what is it? Raxter? I feel like it was supposed to be Rockstar, but yeah, let me know. Curbzilla said the UK has fallen. Oh yeah, UK fell hard, tough, and recovery. I'm not sure if that's going to happen at this moment in time. You said 53. All right, so and you said yeah, okay. So you know about the Patriot Act, right? Back in the 2000s, Bush administration, the war on terror, Bush Jr. being at his last dinner. You can look it up. Him sitting up there laughing and be like, weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Ha 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 ha. After he done sent, untold numbers of family and kids directly over there, and how all the adults during that time signed the Patriot Act. They voted directly for it, and the government told people what it was like, hey, we're doing this for your safety because we got sleeper cells. We got terrorists basically amongst us. And in order for us to protect you, you have to give up a little bit of your freedoms. How did that go? AT&T, Verizon, Yahoo, maybe even AOL, Sprint, a lot of businesses were found to have been selling and collecting information that they did not need to sit up there and collect. And they were also selling it, making money directly off of it. They were reading emails, voicemails, text messages, listening to phone calls, everything, all for the sake under the disguise of freedom. And that was the Patriot Act. So here we are in 2026, where now everybody again has a supercomputer that's always on. A lot of your phones, you can't even take out the battery. It's always on, it's always listening. Certain points in times, you may sit up there and get ads directly on your television screen or on your phone itself while you're scrolling. It was like, hey, you were talking about White Castle, you were talking about, Taco Bell, or you might have been talking about going to Bob's or whatever it is. Now you got these ads up there because the government is listening, because they got algorithms, they got things programmed directly to your phone. They got all of these back doors and all of these websites and all this other. Like I said before, it's nothing that you can do. Going to the government, you're going to go to the same people that's allowing this to happen, that wants it to happen, that orchestrated the whole thing. Congress ain't going to do nothing. Congress ain't going to do nothing. Curb said their current censorship exists in total contrast to their constitutional origins as a nation, specifically referring to William Blackstone commemorates on the laws of England. It's disgusting. Rockster said, right. Hers said, I don't even want to be associated with a Nigerian. Wait, are you Nigerian or African? Because I'm guessing it has to be somewhere up there, or maybe you might consider yourself African American. I'm not sure. Like I said, people call themselves a lot of things, all the time. I'm not sure. Rack said, yeah, but I'm just saying unalive versus murder. Go, come on. Well, if people are on TikTok, like I said, TikTok, the way that they monitor people's speech is ridiculous. And of course, which a lot of people don't understand, if you are, this woman is African, but for me, Black American, if I decide to make a video on a topic and I'm using normal words, what's going to inevitably happen is that that video is going to get flagged on TikTok. It's going to get taken down, flagged, or whatnot. It's going to cause a lot of problems. So you have a lot of people up there that have fields of information, but they can't give out that information because they have to try to work on rewording so many things, because so many normal words that are what you would consider every day, you can't specifically say on TikTok. Now, if you're white or porcelain, right? Whatever, whatever you want to sit up there and call it, Caucasian, troglodyte, whatever you are, as long as you're not Black, you can say whatever you want to sit up there and say, and you're gonna, not really have any consequences. It's no other, he said, last thing you can expect to get on the continent's justice. Remember, there is no infrastructure. Ish said bribery is rife. Rockster said grape, not, but this is the thing though, but you know what the person is saying, because if you just look at the word, it's clearly there, right? Bushido said facts happened to me a couple of days ago. Ish said you literally have to pay police to investigate, write reports, and etc. Her said, I'm in California. I conduct myself like a human being. I get you, but that's not what I asked. that is not what I stated. That is not what I stated at all. I like when people, like I said, I can clearly tell people that I'm Black American. Clear cut. Like I said before, I have no qualms directly about that. Stand 10 toes down. I stand proud. I ain't trying to, match in or cosplay as nobody else. Like I said, that's as real as I can sit up there and make it. Now, for other folks directly out here, I don't know what to tell them. Like I said before, everybody can sit up there and say that they're human, but how human are you going to be when the police roll up? Right? That's all I'm saying. Raxa said, I understand that. So why can you use hate? Why isn't it unlike? No, I think that still causes problems too. I've watched enough videos online on a variety of platforms, and I've realized that certain words they'll program into their algorithms so that if you happen to use them, it'll start to cause issues and problems directly on that platform. And then the other thing that they do is they'll use that to also flag certain platforms to let them know that, okay, we're going to put this channel in this category directly over here and do all of this. So then they can further do some background stuff, which is basically like, we're going to just, so this is the way that you talk. Fine, no problem. We're going to put you, over here to the side where can't nobody see you. It barely even like followers will be able to see you or get notifications and stuff. So, yeah. Her said, I'm FBA all day, every day. Okay. See, that's that's all I'm saying. that's, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Still Trippin said, peace family. What is up? What is up? Raxton said, sorry to get off topic. No, it's cool. It's cool. This woman Tiffy said, I'm other. This woman. Her said, and I'm not a Grape. So if the cops show up, I'm not going to blink an eye. No. I ain't talking about anything to that's the far off. That is the deepest reaches of space. We're not talking about nothing to that extent. I'm talking about everything dealing that's going on in the United States, right? Like if ICE were to pull up on me, I ain't afraid of nothing. You ain't gonna take me nowhere. Ain't nowhere for you to sit up there and say, "Oh, we're about to sit up there." What to another city? That's what we're doing. That you're gonna take me from one city to another city. Okay, it's like I said, other people got a lot of other stuff to fear when it deals, with that. I don't at all. Zero. Never have. Never will. It don't matter what administration. Never had a fear. So like I said, Ish said the shadow ban is real. That's bars. That's bars. Her said not worried about ICE either. I got you. So now let's continue. Oh, was that one over? Okay. So before I go into the next video, I want to highlight what was stated by the what was it? Let me also say Roxy said sorry to get off topic. No problem. We normally do that here. So it is all good, right? So this is the first lady of Nigeria, and this is her statement. They said, well, not her statement. They said Her Excellency does not condone the assault of women and girls during the Aludu festival in Orzo, Delta State. I watched this horrific viral footage emerge from Ozoro, a Isoko North local government area of the Delta State, showing girls physically and expletive assaulted, subjected to degrading and barbaric treatment during what was supposed to be a community festival. While still I hold deep respect for the diverse, rich cultures and traditions that make us who we are as a people, I believe that no such tradition or custom grants any man the right to violate the dignity and freedom of any woman and or girl. Further goes on to state that, let me see, traditions. Okay, yeah. It says, I commend the Nigerian police force for the arrest already made and urge all relevant authorities to ensure that all perpetrators face the full weight of the law. To the victims of the unfortunate incident, I urge you to seek the relevant medical and psychological help. I pray for your healing, peace, and strength at this difficult time. Signed, Her Excellency. Yeah, no. There were posts in a video that I put directly on the platform. There was a post where I was able to get a snapshot, and some people had discrepancies on the date by just 2 years, right? Now, the king of Nigeria, because he was, in front of his people wherever they were, and he was specifically saying that under the, his 20-year reign, that he has never heard or seen anything like this happen. Right now, again, you got to take that not even with a grain of salt. You just don't listen to that garbage at all, because there were women in the comments section. And there was one woman basically said that this was going on, that she was assaulted back, I think it was like 2019. And then another person underneath that gave a reference point of maybe like a 2015 to a 2017. So this has been going on for a very long time. People have just now caught wind of it because, cell phones are everywhere now. everybody in a sense has one, and everybody wants to go viral and they want to sit up there and record something. So this is why we're able to understand and know about this festival and how disgusting it is. And the craziest part about it is that when I look online, I see fields of women talking about it, but I don't see fields of men talking about it. And for me, that's a problem, because you're not going to tell me that Nigerians have the best culture, and all of these Nigerians, they're way more richer and smarter and educated, and they got way more than Black Americans. They got all of this culture, but this is the only part of your culture that I'm really seeing. And the other crazy part is, like, somebody like the Shade Room ain't really talking about it, and they Nigerian. So I'm a little bit confused on that. There's a lot of other Nigerians that are here, like what is it, Shabuzi? He's Nigerian. He should be up there talking about this. Burna Boy, he's Nigerian. He should be up there talking about it, right? The African women directly out here, what is it, Tyler and all these other ones directly, they should be up there talking about it. They got huge platforms. They should be talking about this 7 days straight. If this festival was supposed to go on for 7 days straight, and this was going to happen to those women for 7 days straight, that's as long as these Africans should be talking about it. This is the only topic realistically that Africans should be talking about, because I can promise you, if I decide to move away from Nigeria and go to these other continents and look and research and see what it is that they got going on, I promise you it's going to be looking just like this. Like I said, that's why that Somalian woman came up there and she tried to all lives matter the situation. Nah, speak on your Somalian men and what it is that they be doing. Speak on them and speak on what's going on over there in Africa. You speak on those two places first, and when you get those correct, then you decide to start talking about everything else. Like I said, it's crazy to be Somalian talking about problems, but yet you in the United States. You're not even in the country where you could actually put hands on the situation and fix it and be boots on the ground. You want to talk about the problem while being in the safety in a first world country. That's wild. That's wild. That is diabolical. 100% diabolical. What is it? You said some free said look up Congo and Rwanda. Yeah. Yep. Like I said, that's ridiculous. And I want to note to people, they're not going to be able to make over there in Nigeria, they're not going to make a lot of arrests. You might have a few that get captured because of video footage, or maybe because somebody's seen them and maybe turned them in. But the amount of men I'm talking about, you had like hundreds, if not thousands, of dudes directly. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to catch all of those dudes. There were like in some of those videos, and I had a weird comment on one of my videos where let me see if I can actually pull it up real quick. Let me see. Yes, bus driver culture. I had a woman that stated that I should show the video, but of course, block out certain things. But I'm like, why would I show the video? I wish I would have actually put a snapshot. It's on either one of the two videos that I actually recently did. I'm trying to look through it as I'm doing this live stream right now, because I'm like, for me, that's weird. And I told people directly in the live stream, not live stream, I told people directly in that video, I'm like, yo, you can go online. If you trying to see it, you can go up there. I'm not about to sit up there and potentially hem myself up in situations, trying to showcase that. I'm not going to do that. Now I'll blur it out. I'll blur out the whole video. So you know that there's actual video there. You can clearly see the blurred out video. Oh, I'm talking about ultra blurred out to the point you're not making heads or tails of anything. It could be Mickey Mouse behind that blur, how heavy that is. You don't know. But like I said, if you want to go out there and understand what's going on, you can go directly on X. Even on TikTok, and shockingly enough, I'm like, I'm not even sure how that's even up there on TikTok, but a multitude of people got video up there and they're speaking on the topic. I'm like, it's crazy how TikTok allows some things, but doesn't allow other things. That's not even close to that, but it's crazy. It is diabolical. Diabolical. But yeah, like I said before, for the I guess the first lady and the king, they just now coming out speaking about this. Y'all failed y'all people. I'm just gonna be honest, 1,000%. Nigeria is a corrupt state, and it's just all over the place. Like I said, the amount of poverty, the amount of defecation that happens on the streets, the amount of assaults that happen, the amount of crime that happens, the amount of STDs, the amount of sickness, the amount of homelessness, the amount of kids in shelters, the amount of kids directly on streets, the amount of people not making a livable wage, the amount of trash that is like I said, it's crazy. This is why it's insane to me to hear any Africans out here wanting to open their mouths and talking slick about Black Americans. Like y'all don't have a leg to stand on, literally. Like that's crazy to me. Always people from like these other places coming to a first world and magically want to grandstand and magically be a social activist, but you wasn't trying to be an activist back home though. You wanted to wait until you got to the United States or Canada or the UK to become an activist, but you're not trying to be activist boots on the ground there. That's wild to me. Always found that to be weird, but let's continue.
Is about to explode from whatever is going on in Ozoro. So my brother literally just called somebody in Delta State and oh Jesus Christ, please help me. And they told him that there were some victims, a guy and a girl, like obviously boyfriend and girlfriend walking together, and they dragged the girl from the guy, they the girl in front of her boyfriend, and the boyfriend was fighting, and they beat up the boyfriend and boyfriend as well. The fact that these guys that we're talking about, they are the same guys that are flexing with Yahoo money in Delta State, in Ozoro. These are the same boys. Like literally that video that they were dancing and flexing. I know about 3 of them in that video. I know 3 of them in that video. The one holding the camera, I know him too well. These are Yahoo boys that are moving in money in Ozoro, building houses and driving big cars. And they still have time to do this festival. They still have time to do this nonsense. The fact that somebody's girlfriend, you beat him and then you beat him as well. And then some of you feign ignorance when it comes to homosexuality. Ah, Jesus Christ, my head.
Right. So we were able to hear the bull ring sitting up here talking. And when I first saw this video, I was like, "Yo, why do you just keep smiling?" Like some people explain, like, "Hey, it's not really a smile, it's this, that." But I'm like, specifically when she was talking about the fact that the boyfriend that was trying to protect his girlfriend, he was also assaulted as well. It was like you were just like smiling and like you're a weirdo. Like you're a weirdo. It's almost as if quote unquote when these feminists out here try to think that stuff is like a gotcha moment, and I'm like, it's not a gotcha moment. You're a weirdo to be waiting so that something can happen just so that you can say something is weird. Nobody condones any no let me rephrase that. No logical human being condones this type of behavior. The ones that do, you're weirdos and you shouldn't be here. And the ones that are like her that want to like smile when it happens to a man, you're even weirder. Because I'm like, that's not proving any type of a point at all. Like that's like, what are we doing here? Like I said, it's always that septum ring. Every single time. Every single time you see that septum ring, it's always a weirdo. I swear to goodness. Every time. Every time. It's always weirdo behavior. It has not failed. It has not failed. It's not failed.
And then some of you feign ignorance when it comes to homosexuality. Ah, Jesus Christ, my head.
So this demonic act that actually happened in Ozoro is not actually funny because for a minute, I'm like, why are people laughing? So I had a VN of a guy. He was explaining what happened in that same Ozoro Delta state, of how a guy and a lady, they were just going on their own, and these guys, they came to attack the guy's girlfriend. They graped the guy's girlfriend, so the guy was trying to fight back and everything. They took this guy, they beat him up too, and they graped him. Yes, a guy and his girlfriend. And when the guy was saying it, the guy was like, it was laughing. And I'm like, please, is there something, is this?
So it says guy, but because of the way that she is speaking, that's how it was translated. But she's talking about the previous girl. So that's why I had the first video play and I had this as a response, because you can clearly see the contrast and difference between the emotional intelligence of the first one, which was nothing, versus this person here, which is speaking on the situation and understands the seriousness of the situation and doesn't find anything laughable about it.
Supposed to be a funny situation, because nothing is funny about this stupid festival. Who started this whole festival? I don't even understand. Why do people feel like it is actually normal? This festival is not normal. Like, it's not a festival that if a lady comes out when she's not supposed to come out, they will take her and grape her. How is it supposed to be a normal thing? And it's not showing that we are actually, I mean, in as much as, according to what I saw, they said they've arrested the native doctor, they arrested some people. It will not still cover, it will not still cancel the fact that we ladies are not safe in this damn country. I mean, a whole lot of people were like, oh, Grape, when it was Mirabel case, everybody came out, all the guys. Please, explain to me why all the men in Ozoro, none of them could think and use their brain that what we are doing is wrong. None. As much as they are like that, they agree to that kind of atrocity. And you not tell me that literally all men have this gripping thing in them. Literally all men. Like I said, literally. I did not say all of them. Literally. It's actually crazy. And they were actually videoing, laughing, like it was something that was supposed to be fun. But these people have siblings that are ladies. Their mom. I thought I've seen the worst. This one that happened is worst. Is worst. Girlfriend and boyfriend, they grape one because of what? Festival. It's really crazy that it's always the wrong people that used to buy. Now, imagine me having power. Imagine me having this kind of power. It's bullshit, because it's not even a funny situation.
Those girls, they should have known that, okay, this is a situation of things.
Right. So we heard that. And again, you had one, the first one was not serious at all. She, with the bull ring, she was sitting up her laughing. The second woman, she had some common sense, some logic directly to her. It was like, yo, this is a serious situation. This should not be, happening at all. It's not even a laughing matter. I'm not even sure why she kept laughing. So now we're going to roll back in contrast and listen to what a woman basically had to state to the other woman directly out there.
They know how this thing is. I'm sure individuals have told them, they would have heard stories. Why did they come outside? Let's look at Abraka, for example. When Abraka is doing their own festival, when they will carry knife or cutlass and come outside and say they're killing people and all of that, you will not see one Abraka student say he's forming one thing and go outside. You want to test waters. Probably those girls wanted to test waters. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that. I don't know whether those girls were trying to test waters or why they were outside in the first place. And I'm not trying to excuse the rubbish that they were doing, like rape and all of that. That's stupid. But if you know how a place is, you would tread carefully in some kind of situations. You cannot just go to a country, for example, Afghanistan, and start trying to go against their traditions and rules there, even though it is inhumane, right? You cannot just go there and start trying to act different. Of course, hand go touch you, hand go meet you, right? So basically, this is just my take. Oh, please don't come for me. I'm just trying to talk from a logical standpoint. Like they should have had the sense to like stay indoors, okay? But at least they for not actually witness that kind of thing will happen to them because it's so painful. Like imagine trying to tear a girl's dress apart, like touching all her body parts. Bro, they would have never experienced it if they had just stayed indoors. Please thank God for that. The Delta State government is already on it and everything's just going to be resolved. Bye, my dears.
Whoa. And here is the troll Harvey talking about it's a black thing. Well, I can clearly tell that you're the type of person to believe that all black people basically, look alike. Anybody who has, any bit of melanin, everybody's clear cut the same. So I guess you must be a part of those files then, right? Since we're going to go that route. Since you're saying that, this whole conversation is a black thing, I guess you must be a part of those those EP files, right? You must be on a list. The government should be looking directly at you. Because last time I checked, as a black American, I don't see nobody that looks like me that's a part of that list. Just saying. I'm just going to throw that up there. I'm going to actually put it to the percentile of like 99.9% of that look like men like you, Harvey. Isn't that that's a bit weird? And it's also weirder how all of the names got redacted, right? We don't know who a lot of the people are. A lot of those people are in secrecy and they're being heavily protected. It's quite weird how that happens because we know that if all of those folks that were part of those EP files, if they were black, we would have known who all of those people were. There would have been a trial going on until like the next century to get everybody in line to make sure they're going to pay their dues. There's going to be a variety of choices: lethal injection, firing range, you know, death sentence. There would be a variety of selections there, right? If they were black, we know how those F files would have went, but they weren't. And because they aren't, we know how the information is being placed directly out there while we're not getting any names, while we're not seeing any faces, while we don't really have any court cases or files. The most that I've actually seen dealing with this situation is Bill Clinton looking at some past images and him being a white man, him sitting up there reminiscing and smiling and laughing at the pictures. I was like, wow, that's crazy. He doing that on camera too. Wow. But I'm pretty sure, Harvey, just like you said that this whole conversation is a black thing, I guess it would be fair to say that the F files, that'd be a white thing though, right? That'd be that fair is fair, right? Spade is spade. It's crazy work. It's diabolical. The same culture, Europeans, pagans, the same non-believers are the same ones that have touched every single piece of land on this planet and almost driven things into extinction, from human beings to different types of vegetation to animals. And then on top of sitting up there doing that, the amount of enslavement that has taken place, the amount of assaults that have taken place, the amount of loss of life that has taken place, the amount of blood directly on your hands, and you got the nerve to pull up to the scene thinking that you're going to throw something real big, like, oh, I got a gotcha moment. It's a black thing. Yeah, nah. It's crazy work. But like I said before, people need to really be looking out for you though, Harvey. People need to watch kids around you. Matter of fact, you probably shouldn't actually be you shouldn't be in the school zones. That's crazy. You shouldn't be nowhere near any kids. You shouldn't be near a candy shop. You shouldn't be near a water park or Six Flags or nothing. Right? If we're going to sit up there and go that way. And also on top of the fact, the videos that I covered where groups of white men were sitting up there going after lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Like y'all were literally entrapping bears, putting them to sleep so that you can have your way. Alligators, dogs, cats, hens, goats. They literally, and I want people to look this up because since Henry wanted to go this route, I want people to look this up. They because when it deals with like the zoophilia stuff that these folks like to sit up there and do, this is why they always say that dogs are man's best friend, because literally if they can't get a woman, the next best thing to get is a dog, right? um they had a special breed of sheep that they bred. They have very large butts, right? And they bred those sheep for a very specific reason, and it had nothing to do with black men. It had nothing to do with black men. And even within that, you had those men also marrying those sheep. Color me surprised on that. And again, that's not black men. So, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how folks want to pull up to the scene. Uh-oh. What? That's crazy. That's diabolical. You said, well, I'll just put it up. It don't even matter at this point. So now I got to move on from Harvey. I guess we got a new victor directly up here. Harvey, right? OMG. OMG. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You said, I've got to be the saddest creature on the planet every time I pass by your channel. You're talking ish. What you mean every time you pass by? Didn't the last time you were here, you said you were busy? And when I offered you to come directly up to speak on the topic, you were like, no, I got too much. I got, life to actually do. You had to go to the gym magically at that moment, even though you were talking in the stream for about 30 to 40 minutes and you could have came up even for 2 or 3 minutes. You opted not to do it. But now magically, you blessed us with your kindness and with your energy in some way found out of life, out of everything else you could be doing. You found your way directly to this channel to let me know your complaint. And I told you that by the time that you come back and it's another live stream, we're going to be on a whole different topic. And it's crazy how I'm problematic from your viewpoint, from what it is that you stated, but I'm talking about an actual issue that happened that's dealing with women and how it is that they're getting treated. That's some wild work. Like, this is crazy. Like, your timing is incredible. I've never seen, and I got trolls. I got trolls directly in the comment section. And Harvey was technically, that's some clockwork, trolling right there. So kudos to Harvey. That's normal. You, my friend, I don't know what type of time you're on. You just show up at the wrong time to complain. Like, I'm calling out something that's happening to women directly out here because obviously, it's not getting enough light. Like I said before, I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it at all. But the moment in time that you pull up to the scene, you pull up when I make a response to a troll that wanted to sit up there and say that this issue is a black thing. You have to be the dumbest, slowest person that I've ever seen on my channel thus far, who is a grown adult that is supposed to be intelligent, that should have, I guess, some type of college degrees or whatever it is that you got going on in life. You're supposed to be logical. The trolls are more logical than you. The racists that come up to my platform are more logical than you, and that's the craziest part. Like, I've never seen such, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what to sit up there and call it. Like I said, you didn't want to show up, and you said, OMG, you said that you're a woman. You didn't want to pull up when we had the last conversation, right? And then somehow, some way, you got the notification and you pulled up here. This is why I told people before, yo, hey, what's up, Pink? What is going on? What's going on? This is why I told people before that I know for a fact that there's a lot of people that don't like me, that don't like the content, but they make sure to stay enough there where they can pull up to the scene anytime I upload a video or that I go live. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, if you really don't sit up there and like my content, all you got to do is hit that block button. I don't expect the trolls to hit the block button. They're not going to do it. They're trolls. They're going to do what they normally do. You being a woman and you doing like the life thing, you got more pressing things to do. I'm like, how are you still here, brother? How did you know I even went live, brother? How do you even know that my channel even still exists? I'm like, that's wild. Like, as much as you say that you disagree, why even be here? That seems like a waste of time. Instead of disagreeing with me, why don't you just go to the gym like you did before? Don't stay here for 30 minutes and decide that you want to just chat, writing paragraphs and theses and books and novels directly in the chat. Don't do that. Nah. Make sure, take this time right now and just go directly to the gym. Like I said, I can call out the trolls for being dumb because they're just trolls. You, on the other hand, I don't know what this is. That's crazy. That's 100% crazy. See, now because I'm pissed. Where's the other video at? Where is that? Now I'm about to sit up there and segue. Give me a quick second. Because I got a video that I did showcase. And I didn't get a lot of comments. So shout out to OMG, because like I said, I get tired of people like pulling up to the scene, and the moment in time that I expect y'all to sit up there and say some stuff and to really talk about and highlight some stuff, you don't really sit up there and say nothing. So let me just get into villain mode real quick. let me just, it's gonna take a minute because I gotta download this video again. Because it's crazy to me that I put up a post recently, and it specifically dealt with 2 black women in these United States, and I have to cover it like this because of OMG. That video really didn't get a lot of comments there, and for me, looking at the problem in the situation and how a lot of folks want to sit up there and say that black boys and black men are the problem, we're the fathers, and all this other type of stuff. Oddly enough, a lot of those same folks, didn't pull up to the scene to really sit up there and say that. So we're going to sit up there. We're going to do a nice little segue real quick, and we're going to sit up there and take a look at this. We got a few people here, right? This is a live. So I want to sit up there and see what people think. Oh, somebody said, so we blur fights. Yeah, on my channel we do. On my channel we do. Now, if you want to see the fight, you can do what I did, and you can go online and go see the video and search for it. If y'all really got a problem with me sitting up there blocking stuff directly on my channel, y'all can sit up there and go do it. So what I did was, in order for my safety of my channel, I allowed y'all to sit up there and hear the interactions, what was going on, but I blocked out the fight. Also, due to the fact that the child, the son of the woman, this woman here, the shortest one there, Mighty Mouse, with the biggest mouth, while she was fighting, her son was sitting up there swinging directly on the bus driver. So yeah, I did. And the son, he fell down. The woman, I don't think she knocked him down, but the son fell down. So yeah, I got to sit up there. In order for me to protect what it is that I'm doing, I'm going to sit up there and block out certain stuff. If you don't like it, you can start your own channel. That's the best that I got for you. That's the best that I got for anybody. And I'm trying not to rage out right now because I'm very tempted to. I'm like 5 seconds from just like going off on people because I'm at that moment. But I'm being a better person. Right? So I'm working on it. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, when it deals with this video right here where you got these two women, let me explain this again because, a lot of people didn't see it when I posted it, or at least leave comments. The tallest woman there, that's wearing the black forces. And I told people before, if you see somebody in black forces, you might want to second guess life. No matter what happened, this may not be the fight that you set up to be in. This may not just be that day. And she got the lows on, right? So the tall woman in the forces, that is the female bus driver. The female bus driver basically stated that, your son basically hit me on my behind. So what the female bus driver did, she was like, okay, so you're going to hit me on my behind, right? You're a child and you're going to do this to a grown woman. No problem. So she slapped him. And for me, I 100%, I condone that. I 100% respect that. And I agree with it. She didn't do no more. She didn't do no less. The kid did it once. She did it once. Fair is fair. Spade is spade. Right? The mother, Mighty Mouse, she wanted to come up there and be like, oh, you don't sit up there and put your hands on my son. How about as a woman? How about this? As a woman, how about you actually know how to raise your son? How about you actually have a man in your life? Because it looks like you might be a single mother. How about you actually have a man in your life, the same one that helped you give life directly to that child, and actually have him help you raise that child? Because if he actually had a real man directly in his life that was raising him, he wouldn't be like that. And also on top of that, her being a single mother, which more than likely she is, if she could actually precisely pick out a good man, this would not have happened. She possibly would not have been a single mother. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not trying to deal with no extenuating circumstances or people like, oh, but people, the guy could have died of cancer. He could have got hit by a car, lightning. He could have died in a bus fire. I don't care about none of that. And I get tired of people trying to bring it up just to try to bring up some type of random point so they can whatever. I don't got no time for it. So I don't. We're talking about what it is at this moment in time, right? You have a woman that obviously cannot pick the correct type of guy. So because she can't pick the correct type of guy, this is why her son is going out there acting the way that he is acting, thinking that this is okay to do. And I try to tell a lot of parents on this platform before that, if you don't sit up there and correct your kids, if you don't teach your kids, then the world is going to do it. And the world is going to be a lot more harsher, because in a lot of extents, which videos I've covered, I'm like, some people's kids out here are gone. And I'm like, well, it be like that, because y'all ain't want to listen. And then the same parents that don't really want to be parents, they up here boo-hooing and crying and all this other type of stuff. And oh my God, my kid, he didn't do it free Taiwan and all that. I'm like, dog, nah, free nothing. Keep them locked up. Terror in the streets. How many of the women of his age range he's already assaulted already? Nah, keep him locked up. Nah, brother. No, I'm not trying to hear nothing. Not trying to hear nothing. Like I said, like that's some wild work. And the other thing I said up there and said before as well, for a lot of women out here that are single mothers, stop sitting up there having dudes come in and out of your house. Stop sitting up there having random dudes, having your kids call random dudes like, oh, that's your uncle. That's your father. That's this, that. Stop lying to those kids. You know who the actual father is. You just don't want to sit up there and make him responsible, or he just didn't want to be with you. Either one of the two. But like I said, this also showcases the fact that children need both parents directly in the house, because just in case the mother might be out of whack and she might not be able to make the selective choosing, somebody has to be the logical adult there. Somebody has to be the grown up. Somebody has to be some type of like leader or headway, whatever it is. Somebody has to sit up there and do it, because she can't. because she thought in all of her grand wisdom that she was going to roll up to this bus stop knowing the fact that her son assaulted somebody from what the bus driver stated, who was another woman, black, mind you. And she'd be like, nah, I'm about to sit up there and fight for my son. So let me also put it to you like this, right? For the black women out there, this is me. I'm a black American man. Again, this is my villain arc. So I'm at a point where I don't care. I've already heard the worst. You can't sit up there and call me nothing I haven't already been called. For the black women out there, who love to sit up there and say that black men are the problem, I want you to realize that amongst all of those black men that are a problem, there are strong black women that are supporting those black men that are problematic, right? Isn't the old adage that behind every strong black man is a strong black woman, right? And behind every single criminal-minded young black man and black young boy directly out here is a strong, independent black mother. So I'm pretty sure that those two would actually go hand in hand. Both of those adages. The one you just heard me say, I just came with that off the cuff, but it's a true fact. Because every single time that there is a problematic young man out here, there's always a mother there. We can always say that there's not a father, right? Statistically speaking, even though the CDC said otherwise, right? But we're just going to go with the stats that everybody loves, that black men do nothing, black women do everything. So if black women do everything, they're also here for everything as well, too, along with these problematic young black boys and, these black men directly up here that they shelter, that they coddle, that they protect. There's been a multitude of videos where these dudes were running away from law. They might have escaped from jail or prison or just been out on a run from doing whatever crime in the community. And you know who they go to? They go to the women in the family. They go to the women of the family first in order to get that shelter, in order to get that protection, because they're going to be the ones be like, yeah, I'm not going to let nothing happen to you. I'm going to hide you directly in the basement. You just stay in the house, eat whatever you want. You can sit up there. I'll set up a room for you. We'll put you directly in the attic. They'll do all of this stuff and now become an accessory. But we're going to sit up there and only solely say in the black community, the reason why the black community is in a disarray is because of black men. But yet you got black women, strong and independent, that are supporting behaviors like this. What are we talking about? So wouldn't that then entail that everybody's a problem in the black community, not just one side? But like I said, for whatever reason, people don't want to look at it like that. Somebody always has to be right. Somebody always has to be wrong. Like the video I set up there and covered in Chicago about 2 or 3 years ago, where this one woman, she looked young. I'm talking about like late 20s. Was it late 20s? Maybe like early 30s. Her son got killed because he broke into somebody's car. One of the neighbors ended up seeing it and he shot the kid. And I'm like, it'd be like that. He was a 13-year-old out there ripping and running. The mother, I never forget it because it always stuck with me. She got on there crying, boohoo crying with the other females directly, strong black women right behind her, all boohooing and crying. She was like, that was my son. He was the man of the house. He was holding it down. When I couldn't depend on nobody, I could depend on him. How, as a grown-ass woman, are you depending on a 13-year-old to do anything for you? Huh? She's more of a problem than the 13-year-old. You created him and enabled him to be out there at dark 30 in the morning with God knows who else, who was a bad influence, to be out here ripping and running through the streets, causing crimes and potentially taking lives. And now you want to sit up there and cry because he's dead. It's your fault. You selectively, what's the word that a lot of these the feminists and the ones that hate black men, what's the discernment, right? That's the word. I was looking for that for a minute. A lot of women out here like to say that, a lot of women lack discernment. It's not that they lack discernment. They go for what it is that makes them feel good. There's too many videos directly out here where you got men out here that are leaders. You got men out here that are willing to sit up there and shoulder the burden of whatever comes with that woman and basically lead them to a better life. And women would be like, you know what? I see the rainbow and I see the bucket of gold over there. It's looking real nice, but no, I'd rather stay in the streets. I'd rather sit up there and deal with like John B and whoever else ripping and running through the streets, getting quick, fast, money and all this other type of stuff. So it can just break me off a few thousand and I could just like live like that. So I could just say that I got it and I can pull, guys, niggas who got money I don't want no 9 to 5 nigga. I want a nigga that's street nigga that get money, that's skipping and scamming and willing and dealing. And those are the same guys who are creating a lot of these young men out here. The same way that they abandoned their family and house originally that created them, they will go around to the other black women that they know that they can be with, and even some of the educated ones, and they will abandon them as well too and create kids. But somehow, some way, the whole of the totality of black men are blamed for the quote unquote lack of discernment of the black women out there who decide to open their legs for the wrong guys that they know are the wrong guys. But just because, you know, man out here selling like a Titanic and, you know, he crashes into her a few times, you know, it's all good. As long as she feels good at the end of the night, that's all that matters. That's how easy it is. It's crazy. It's diabolical. Diabolical. Like I said, I haven't seen it too many times throughout my life. And I can still see it on social media. And better yet, not even looking at social media, you can look at the women that you got a black women worship. You got the Meg Thee Stallion. She ain't pregnant yet. Cardi B, pregnant multiple times. What's that girl named? Nicki Minaj. She's pregnant with a dude that's problematic, and then her brother is also problematic. Crazy work. Directly right there. Beyonce. All of that lemonade stuff. Women ate it up, followed it, and she's still married to Jay-Z. After basically making an album talking about the dude sitting up there cheating and all this other type of stuff. After all of the stuff, knowing about Solange. Diabolical work. Diabolical. What Mulatto, aka Lotto, right? The light-skinned chick that's with 21 Savage, who is technically or supposedly still married. She's now a single mother. Huh? Glorilla. And a multitude of other female artists directly out here. These are basically the leaders of a nice majority of black women out here, because this is what they idolize and follow. If this is from the point of view of those women, that's the life that they want to live and they believe that they should have. This is how you start to have a culture directly of young girls out here who want to sit up there and say, fuck nigga free. Right? And then be like single mother number 99. What is it? Future got like 12 or like 13 women pregnant? That's crazy. So I guess like all of those women, they just lack discernment, right? Nah, they went directly for Future on purpose. Like I said, this is why like I using certain words and stuff is crazy to me, because if we're going to sit up there and say that men do stuff on purpose, we just fall directly into like any woman that we see, right? If people like to sit up there and say that, then we can clearly say that a lot of women like to fall on any dick that they just so happen to see, as long as the dude is pretty. These are facts. There are a lot of abusive men directly out here, but because the dude is attractive, women are fine with it. There's been umpteen times I done seen women online see a mugshot of what is supposed to be an attractive criminal, and they look up his record. The dude was, you know, he assaulted women and he also beat them down. And women be like, oh, he can assault me anytime. Oh, he can beat me anytime. Give me 2 black eyes. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I can't even take a lot of this stuff serious no more, because women don't even take it serious. These are supposed to be serious situations, but you got women out here sexualizing the situation because the dude is attractive. But yet, if the dude was ugly, oh, now it's serious because he's ugly, because you don't want him, because there's nothing about him redeemable. There's no qualities at all. Now, oh, we got to condemn him. We got to get rid of him. But no, if the dude is pretty, it's like, no, just let him slide for a bit. Free him just for 5 minutes. Let him escape to my house. Like I said, the amount of dumb comments that I've literally seen from women, and not just any women, I'm talking about from black women online, crazy, diabolical. But yet, when we talk about serious situations, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, it's a lot of mixed messages out here. It's a lot of mixed messages. That's all I'm saying. It's a lot of mixed messages. I see a lot of female rappers out here telling women to be single. You don't need a man, don't get married. And they end up with a man and get married. And they got several kids, Cardi B. What happened? And women are still falling for the trap, idolizing a lot of these female rappers, these artists and stuff, giving them these mixed messages, but yet they're living a whole another life outside of these platforms, outside of that music. Like I said, it's crazy. If people want to see how the government works, if people want to see how brainwashing works, just look at the music and look at the people that follow that music. That's all you got to sit up there and do. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Like I said before, crazy work. Like I said, go look at some of these concerts when women want to sit up there and go get dressed up. They will get dressed to the nine for a man that they will never ever meet in their life. They will do the utmost. They'll be acting so crazy. They will be hypersexualizing themselves at these concerts to get attention directly from that guy because they think that he might have seen them in row 243, seat 3FA. But yet when the deals with the dude that's actually attracted to him, oh no, they ain't doing all that. They're not getting dressed up. They're not trying to hypersexualize themselves. They're not trying to put themselves out there like that. No, they ain't doing that. Like I said, this whole world is crazy. And this is all because of OMG wanting to push the conversation clearly somewhere else. This is what I be trying to tell people. All you have to do is just let me be, and I'll be good. That's all you gotta just let me be. Just let me rock out on what I'm doing, and I'm good. We don't got no problems. We don't got no problems. But the moment in time you decide to pull up, this is when we start having problems. Villain mode. Like I said, it'd be like that. And as much as I've talked about on live streams and platforms when it deals with black men, young black boys in the community in general, I've also highlighted and talked about this stuff as well too. This shouldn't be happening. I could have sworn people told me that black women have a sisterhood. I don't see a sisterhood when one black woman is telling another black woman like, "Hey, your son assaulted me." Like this is what he did. And instead of trying to be understanding, instead of trying to come to terms with it, instead of being accepting with your failures as a parent, you decide that you want to get angry. That's wild. And you want to fight the woman because of your inadequate parenting and lack thereof, which enabled your child to do this. Better yet, let's put it like this, as I put it directly in the video. Because some people wanted to say that, the kid was just was ignorant. Where was he at? Where was he at? Should have been somewhere. He was close to. Nope, not him. Let me see. Because she told him earlier to go to the car. Let me see. Trying to. Yeah. Little short dude right there. How about this? Let's put it like this, because some people wanted to try to excuse it away. It was like, oh, impressionable, he's young and all this. But I've never in my life decided that I wanted to slap a grown woman on her backside as a young man. I don't, like I said, I don't know what we're even dealing with here. I'm not even sure how this is even excusable, because it's not. But I put it to you like this, right? This woman who is a single mother, she more than likely had men in her house. And the type of value that's placed directly on her, right? Because of how it is that she basically moves or how it is that she carries herself, right? There's probably been a multitude of times that these strange dudes, multiple dudes that her son has probably seen, has hit her directly on the backside, right? So he thinks, seeing his mom, that this is acceptable. So what he's learning in-house, he is now going to take out there into the world because, oh, it's acceptable here. My mom is fine with it. So I can, go out there and perform these exact same things out there outside. No, you can't. You can't. Like I said, this is what I be talking about when I say that a lot of these women, like, yo, y'all got to be very careful about the stuff that y'all bring around and that y'all do around y'all kids, because y'all don't even know or understand, what that could potentially even lead to, right? I even had, let me see if I can even get the other video. I got one more. I got another video as well too, since we're directly on this conversation, but it's going to be on the reverse end. I got to see if I can pull it real quick. Yeah. Because I'm going to have the brother actually explain it. Like I said, this is all because of one person. All because of one person. But like I said, it's it's entertainment for y'all. It's entertainment for y'all. Let me see. Let me look at some of these comments while I'm waiting for this video to download. He said, Cake said, well, one day he will do that and he may not live. Yeah, and that's the point. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's dudes out here right now that's like, yo, if anybody sit up there and touch a woman or a girl like that in my family, like they're gonna come see you real quick. And it don't matter if it's somebody that's a teenager or that's a grown man, they're gonna sit up there and come see you because, like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. You need to conduct yourself better. But as a child, he should know better, but he should also have been shown better. And obviously, whatever she's doing in that household, she ain't doing no raising. That's the best way I can put it. She ain't doing no type of raising. She might be doing a lot of laying, but she ain't doing no raising. That's crazy. So now let's go to this other video, because I had somebody I had quite a few people leave some crazy comments on this video. And I'm like, I'm not sure how people are condoning this. Like I said, I don't know what timeline that we're living in where we got a lot of weirdos directly out here, but let's listen to this.
My 18-year-old stepdaughter decides that she wanted to create an OnlyFans in my house where I paid for her at. So I put her out, right? Case closed. My wife comes home and starts an argument talking about I'm wrong for putting out her daughter at 18 years old. And I try to explain to her, one, I have other kids in this house. So before we even start that stupidness, we're not going to have a young lady in here who just turned 18, started OnlyFans, filming in my living room with pictures on the wall. She's not even smart to even block out the pictures. And then also she got her siblings running around here. We're not doing that. So I told her politely, I packed her things and I told her black ass to leave. Well, my wife's going to say, well, if my daughter's not welcome here, I can't be here either. Well, then you and your daughter can go. Both of y'all can have that kind of crazy mentality and leave, because we're not doing that in this house at all. Not with kids around, not when I'm around. One, this is not even my biological daughter. Do you think I want to be around here watching my wife's daughter in skimpy clothes, twerking and doing ungodly things in the house while I'm in here? The child was doing it while I was in the room. I'll come out and I see her doing the unthinkable in the living room. Now, if I was her real father and I walk in the house and I see that, knowing that another man was in the house, somebody's going to be bleeding and get hurt. It's not just going to be her. And I would agree with him. I would never allow that in my house from anybody's children. It doesn't matter what it is. Not in here, though. So, yeah, so we're gonna get a divorce. And I don't care. I'm standing on my 10 toes, okay? Now, yeah, she's grown, and I'm not denying that. But she could go get her own place and do that in the comfortability of her own home. You're not doing that shit here, okay? Where we doing this at? Why are we giving these kids so much leeway? And who told them that they was grown at 18 years old? They can't pay no bills. They got to work 10, 20 jobs to pay their cell phone bills and all that good stuff. Let's just be honest about it. So no, I don't care. My wife left, or her ignorant ass daughter. You won't be doing that stupidness in here. I tell you that much. All right. So you can say what you want. I don't feel I'm wrong. Yes, I put her black ass out, and she's gonna stay out, and she's never allowed to come back in here because now I can't trust you. I'm not gonna be in here filming all kind of. Anyway, you guys should have seen the things she was doing in this living room at 3 p.m. No, never again. All right, so that's my side of the story. Peace.
Right. So I had one person here. He was like, out here crapping on black women to bootlick to the white man, typical. And you are super simp of the year. Cause I'm like, dog, how is it possible that y'all just have the wrong timing for everything? How is that even feasible? How is that feasible? Like I said, now, not I understand OMG because she's stupid like that. I get that. Cool, fine. You're supposedly a dude, and you super simping directly about here when nobody you putting on a cape and an outfit and ain't nobody told you to do a damn thing, and you pulling up to the scene thinking that you really doing something. Dog, I need y'all to sit the fuck down. Like y'all doing way too much. And y'all be trying to like cape up at the wrong time, dog. Put that suit away in the closet. Dust it back up. Dust it back up, all the way back up, and put it in the back of the closet. I literally gave you a video where you had one woman that was in the correct in the black Air Forces in the lows, the one woman that was correct, and the mother who was raising a son that did it that was incorrect. That's the whole reason that the situation even happened. But because I'm having a conversation directly on it and showcasing that video, I'm automatically crapping on black women. You have to be shitting me right now. Like y'all are mental. Y'all have literally lost it at this moment. And this is what I be talking about. This is why stuff in the community cannot sit up there and get fixed at all. Because you got too many enablers, right? So just like I set up there and said how you got black women that sit up there and enable like their sons and these other dudes out there to do rip and run directly through the streets. You got dudes like this that enable those exact same women to enable those men. Like I said, it's a merry-go-round. It's a forever circle. Everybody plays a part. And this is what you're looking at. This is why I have a problem with these captains that want to get up to the scene and they think that they need to save something. Sit your superhero ass down. You ain't getting paid. Ain't nobody enlist you. Ain't nobody ask you. You don't even really even have no type of powers. Matter of fact, you don't even got a suit. So it's like I'm not even sure how even like a super save anything. Or even the captain. The Titanic been crashed. So what you captain of? Like this whole thing is crazy, dog. Brother. Oh my God. This is why stuff is so difficult. This is why stuff is so difficult. Let me let y'all know. This is why you see a lot of black folks out here. They don't even want to do content like this. Because it gets to the point where you look at stuff and it's like, yeah, it's hopeless out here. It's hopeless out here. It is just. Yo, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I've been through that whole thing, so many times doing content creation that it'll fade in and out. So it's not like nothing that's going to completely derail anything, but it's like it's just the point. I completely understand if there's new content creators out here and they just feel like stuff is just like hopeless, like it's no use in sitting up there talking. That's because you're young doing this and you ain't been talking enough. It's like once you get used to that hopelessness, it'll become normalcy. And like I said, that's just me being real. That's just me being real. Like I said, that's crazy. But going on to this video right here, I had people try to speak for and protect the 18-year-old. It was like, oh, he's weird. He probably just threw her out because he tried to make a pass at her. Why is it every single time that when you have a black man that is standing on, and he's a father, by the way, he's a father with his own kids, and he took the initiative and a responsibility of accepting a woman into his home, amongst his kids, bring in her child from another man. So I'm just going to let that sit there. Number two, I'm pretty sure he runs, pretty much a strict, house because he's raising his own kids, right? He is a single father raising his own kids. Again, the 18-year-old pulls up directly up in there, thinks she doing OnlyFans. No, you're not. I'll throw your ass out too. You ain't doing that. I'm sitting up there raising young kids. He said kids that are plural, so he might have two. It might be two girls, might be two boys, might be a boy and a girl. Either which way it goes, this is not acceptable at all to be having or in a house or to be raising a child around at all. Number one, let me sit up there and put it to you like this. If that 18-year-old, right, and she's not biologically associated with none of those kids there, right? So those kids may, if it's a son, he may sit up there and grow like an early on, which he's not supposed to be doing at this time, depending on the age. He might be growing an early attraction to the female body, right? Instead of just focusing on, just like cartoons or, colors, video games, and all this other type of stuff that'll keep him preoccupied, best friends and all that stuff, right? Now he's fixated on women because he's sitting up there seeing a woman scantily clad. She's not wearing nothing. She's up here twerking while he's like in the same house. He's like 10 feet away looking from like the corner of the door, and he's looking at her twerking, and she got on like some boy shorts with no underwear on so that you can see everything. Right? So automatically now he's going to start to sexualize women and girls at a young age because of the content that he's able to view directly into his house. Problematic, right? Something that's going to have to get checked very early. So if they're daughters, these young girls, because we're in an era now where, if girls are 18 and they out here doing OF and all this, it's women empowerment, it's female empowerment. They're independent, they're boss chicks and all this. They getting money, right? It's now seen as everything positive. So you got women out here, you got mothers out here that are enabling their teenage daughters to start up and to have OnlyFans, even to the extent that I've covered stories before where you got mothers and daughters that do OnlyFans together. You even got mothers and daughters right now that do webcam shows together. But again, and the reason that I bring that up is because a lot of people always want to make it seem like, oh, it's the black men. They're the real preds directly out here. They're the real problematic ones. They're the ones that are the issues. You don't have black men out here going online with their sons, doing webcams, going out here on OF, doing content. But you got mothers out here doing this. Huh? Hello? Anybody home? Can anybody hear me? Like, do you understand what I'm sitting up there saying? Like I said before, it's a lot of projection out here, and that is the problem. And we're also living in a day and age where if you want to sit up there and check and point a lot of the stuff out, you can't sit up there and do it because you're a black dude. Oh, do you understand how problematic you are? You understand the femicide rates? You understand you guys have placed us billions of dollars directly in debt. You guys can't lead anything. You guys are educated. You guys aren't building anything. You guys aren't anything to the community. And they were also within that living in the same timeline where people are like, every other man out here is better than a black man. So again, everything is basically against you if you go out there and decide to speak directly on this topic and you want to showcase how problematic this is. Again, over the years, I've brought you guys content where you got black women raising multiple kids and they're teaching them how, and these are all boys, teaching them how to do female dances, teaching them how to twerk. Or in the reverse, like the Suki Hana video, you got grown women sitting up there twerking and dancing on 6, 8, 9, 10-year-old boys. So going back to this video here, in the comments that I had on that video, you had weirdos that pulled up to the scene trying to make it seem as though that this black man, this father here, is a pred, as if he was going after or trying to seek attention from that 18-year-old. I'm like, y'all got to be so mentally deranged and weird in order to see that. But this is the one thing, the common thing that I've always seen, right? Statistically speaking, in the United States, when it deals with those who commit crimes against the family at the higher propensity, it's not black men. Not saying that we don't have it in the community, it is there, but it's not black men. It deals in the 70 percentile, if not plus, is white males. But every single time I normally see a father that actually loves his kids, somehow, some way, people makes it seem as though that the dude is a sexual deviant, as if he's a pred, and that he just automatically just is in playgrounds, in parks, just watching kids. Like, it's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing directly out here. Like I said, people make it pretty hard for black men to just be seen like as positive in something. Even when a black man is there, it's still a negative. And it's like, that's beyond me. I'm like, it's the craziest thing. Like I said, I've seen it time and time again. Like I said, I've experienced it. I have friends that have gone through it. So, like I said, it's not just hearsay. These, like I said, I got 3 to 4 different areas that I could reach directly into, or maybe 5 if I list the black men that are speaking about it on social media. But even with that, they still get demonized. Like I said, it's crazy work out here. It's crazy, but like I said, I would have threw her out too. You're not about to be sitting up there doing no OF in my house around my kids. You're not doing it. Even if I didn't have kids, you're still not doing no OF in my house. That's weird. I'm sorry. You and your mom can be in some type of like shanty apartment somewhere, and y'all can sit up there and have up your ring lights and all the other type of stuff doing all. You ain't doing that here. And like I said, that shows you the type of deviant the mom is, where she's sitting up there body blocking directly for her daughter. I'm like, dog, you're a weirdo. I get when people want to sit up there and say that, oh, I'm going to protect my kid. You ain't protecting them from nothing. Matter of fact, you need to protect them from you. That little girl at a very young age, like I said, she is hypersexualized. Some things have probably happened, or she has probably witnessed some things. Again, let me just put this directly out there. Two areas. Either something maybe at a younger age that was never talked about. The young girl basically, something happened, right? Because that's one main thing, how people say that a lot of women get directly into street walking and a variety of different things. Things basically happened to them, which then drove them into that area, right? The other area of this happening, because if the mother is living directly with this guy who has his own place, that woman, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much homeless, right? She don't got nothing together. This is why she ain't even have a man like the original father there, right? So if that woman is continuously having guy to guy to guy around that young girl, again, that goes back to the first option A, how that potentially happened, how she got hypersexualized. Or again, if she had a whole bunch of guys in and out of that house, the daughter, by point of view of the mother, was like, oh, so this is how you get attention from guys. I want to be like mom. I want to be loved. I want guys to love me like they love mom. So I got to sit up there and do X, Y, and Z in order to get the attention that I want directly from men, so I can pick the guys that I want. Like I said, you got 2 options, both of which the mother is in control of. And this is why I keep trying to tell women, it's like, yo, you got to be very, very careful. Like I said, I didn't talk to single mothers before, and I've tried to educate them even at a very young age. So people can't sit up there and tell me nothing like, yo, Seiji, what have you done? Before the internet, I was trying to, do a lot of stuff. I was trying to sit up there and help out directly in my community in my own way. Right. But like I said, to no avail. People don't want to listen, especially, during the time, the black girls during the time, they didn't want to sit up there and listen. So they're probably on multiple kids right now. Still mess with the wrong, types of dudes, and still allowed any and every dude to be directly in those kids' lives. Like I said, people don't want to listen, because at the end of the day, like I told people still here, is that a lot of women who got kids, they're selfish, because they would rather put their happiness, crazy how it work. They would rather put their happiness over the safety and well-being of their child. And that's just the facts. Because if that wasn't the case, then the amount of things that happen to kids would be way lower. But the reason why those stats are so high is because a lot of women will opt to have multiple men around their kids. And again, these multiple men, the quote unquote word discernment, right? Those multiple men, women aren't using discernment. They're not doing any of that, because they don't actually care about the child. They care about themselves. They'll be like, oh, well, I still gotta get mine. Mommy still got a life. Like, I'm not gonna let no kid stop me from going out here living my dreams. I done heard this far too many times from black women. But I'm like, then you should have kept your legs closed. How about that one? Dental dam, condom. You should have did what was necessary. Or let me go to the classic one. Stay abstinent. Stay abstinent. Don't have sex. Don't be touching no dudes directly out here. But people don't know how to do that. And people are like, well, you can't tell human beings. Yes, you can. If you want to be stupid and you want to go out there and decide to do something stupid, then stupid things are going to happen. Oops, color me surprised. And then people are like, well, people got to sit up there and learn. So if somebody tells you that crack is whack, don't do crack. You're going to be like, well, I still got to learn if crack is actually bad. Let me go attempt to do this real quick. Give me a couple of rocks for 20. Really? So now you want to be strung out and now you want to have a drug addiction because you wanted to tempt fate and you didn't want to believe what an actual addict told you. You wanted to go out there and live your life and see if it was actually that addicting, if it was going to ruin your life. And now you want people to help. Come on, dog. No, 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 no. Like I said, man, this like, yo, it's cooked out here. It's cooked out here. And let me also sit up there and put should no teenager be sitting up here doing no OF. Like for the women out there that are enabling their daughters to sit up there and do this, I hope you get locked up and thrown directly in prison. You are sending your daughters into an early age of prostitution. There's no other ways. I don't even care about the live stream no more. Like, yo, you are setting your daughters up for full-time failure. They're going to be prostitutes. They're going to be streetwalkers. They're going to get used. They're going to get abused. And potentially they're going to get found dead. There's been too many, like I said, back when Cops actually used to be a decent show, there were episodes there where they spoke on the fact where some of the prostitutes that they would run directly into and have conversations with, some of them were no longer here because they got killed by whatever John or whatever random dude they got into a car with. Like the amount of dangers that are specifically out there. And like I said before, the other thing too is for a lot of these mothers out here, like, yo, a lot of y'all daughters are on Instagram. And I'm speaking specifically to the black women out here. Y'all better start talking to y'all daughters and stop having them go to and from and start flying just because some random dude is throwing them money. That might be money for enslavement. That might be money that they're never going to sit up there and see ever again. Like I said, you got a lot of black girls over here flying from the United States going over to Dubai to become toilets. I need black women to explain that to me. This is why I got a problem with the whole social media thing and women being directly on this stuff because you got too many women that are like, "Hey, yo, this is the bag rate right here. This is how we sit up there and get that money." So you want to basically be shit faced, right? But then you don't show that part. You don't show how you had to get degraded and dehumanized, right? But you want to sit up there and show the positive part. Oh, I sat up there. I'm an entrepreneur. That's how a lot of them do on IG. Or I'm an entrepreneur. I sell this. I do this and do this. But yet, didn't you sit up there and take some trips to Dubai or some other places? And somebody sat up there and offered you money. You were up there doing water sports. You were getting used as a toilet, but like 3, 4, 5, 20 guys. Like that's crazy. That's diabolical. On top of the fact that you probably ended up getting pink eye, right? Like I said, for the black women out there, y'all better start talking to y'all daughters. Because even with men being specifically in that same household, if both parents are not aligned, the man could be as strict as all get out, right? Because he wants his daughter to be a certain type of way. The mother would be the lenient one. She'd be like, oh no, she could wear this. She could wear this short skirt. She could wear this crop top. She could sit up there and have a midriff. She can sit up there and start putting on makeup and lipstick at an early age. For what? She's 6 years old. Why does she have on anything red on her lips? What are we doing here? Red is to highlight. You're not trying to highlight anything on a child's face. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. She's not a streetwalker. We're not doing that. Like I said before, I'm tired of seeing women out here raise their daughters to become professional whores. Like that makes no sense to me. But then we want to turn around and sit up there and start blaming men. Who are the ones sitting up there putting them, who are driving them directly to the auction block, aka the airport? Like what are we talking about here? And this is like, dog, this is just, like, this is crazy. This is diabolical. And again, you got a lot of young women, they looking up to a lot of these girls who are IG. And let me put it to you another way like this too. A lot of these female rappers and whatnot or whatever, they sitting up there selling too. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, think about what's the girl named Young Miami, the one that was with Diddy? Yeah. And I kept trying to tell a lot of black women out here, I'm like, this is how this works. You can sit up, like I said before, behind every strong black man, there was a black woman, right? The other adage as well should be behind every young black male and black man that's a degenerate is a strong, independent black woman. Young Miami was the one that was holding down Diddy. Young Miami knows everything, the ins and outs and everything that's sitting up there going on there, right? And because she's a woman and because she's out there in the open, she told people that she's into water sports and does all this other type of stuff. She is now opening the doorway, making it okay for these to be conversations so that women can just be there, right? That's an easier way to gather people there versus her just specifically trying to go out, search, and have conversations. They'll come directly to her because she's now made a platform. And then she had another woman directly on there. She was like, oh, yeah, for the right price, a guy could sit up there and use me for a toilet seat. And the woman sat up there and took a drink. So this is the type of content that they're showing directly to young black women directly out there and basically also showing to the world, because the other men in the world, they're not going to be like, oh, no, these are just specific black women out there that are like this. No, they're going to be like, oh, this is how these black women are. They're hypersexualized. They barely wear anything. You can always see all of their body parts basically through the clothes. Every time they pull up, they're going to start twerking. All you got to do is sit up there and play some music or offer them some money and make it rain. And they're going to sit up there and show and give you their bodies. That's the message that they're getting, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm saying as a man, every single time I look at this content, every single time I see these black women direct, that's all is reading directly to me. But it's like, it's hard to explain that to women because women can't sit up there and see it. They see it as empowerment. They see it as taking back their sexuality, right? From the oppressor, aka black men, because black men have been oppressing us for so many years. We're now in control of our own bodies, our education, our monies, and all this other type of stuff. And all of that control, what did they sit up there say? No one man should have all of that power because power corrupts. And you looking at what all of that power is doing. All of that power that people have right now is corrupting. So now you see images of black women from the massa challenge from back during the pandemic. Who you with? It's my massa, right? Fields of black women. It didn't matter if they were lesbians, if they were bi, tri, whatever it is. Every single time that massa challenge came up, bow, it was always somebody white. The next one, you had the red light challenge. And I made a video specifically trying to tell black women, like, yo, hey, if you do this red light challenge, they got stuff out here where they can take away the red light effect and they can just see that you're naked. And I'm like, as bright as black women are supposed to be, I'm like, why would you do a challenge in which you're naked? Just because you're in your house doesn't mean that you should. Just because you see everybody else doing it don't mean that you should. And this is what I sit up there and tell people, where women have like a sheep mentality, where whatever other women are doing, they're going to sit up there and do it too. So I'm like, because they saw a few black women doing it, it's like, oh, you had gangs of black women out there doing. I'm like, oh, you guys are stupid. Stupid. Tried to warn people. People didn't want to sit up there and listen. Still kept doing it. Like I said, so many different warnings about a variety of different topics, and folks didn't want to sit up there and listen because they think that they know better. But then when something goes wrong, where these groups of other men want to sit up there now, put hands and attack them, now people are going to be looking at me like, yo, man, so you're not going to say nothing? You're not going to sit up there and protect black women? I've been trying to do that. Where people been at? What else more for me is there to do? I'm not about to sit up there and just go put my life on the line for 100,000 directly out there. I got a mother. Understand me? I got an aunt and everything. So it's like I got women in my family I need to sit up there and protect. I got women that I know that I need to sit up there and protect. I'm not about to sit up there and just randomly give up my life for somebody who don't even care about me. That I mean nothing to them at all. It's somebody that even potentially on the off chances listens to content from other black women where they hate black men. Nah, brother. No, brother. Like I said, for the young women in my family, yes. Female friends that I know for a long time, yes. Female family members, yes. Like I said, I don't know what to tell everybody else. Y'all better sit up there. Y'all got men in y'all family. Y'all better figure it out. You better put your sons up there on the auctioning block to whatever guy you're trying to offer to get more power. You better sit up there and do that. Like I said, it's crazy out here how you got so many women asking black men out here to risk their lives for them when they decide to do stupid mistakes, but they're not sitting up there asking black women to put their sons, their young sons, up there for the offer. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. They're not sitting up there looking for the men of their family to put up to the offer. That's crazy. They're not even asking for the men that have done them wrong in the past to put themselves up for the offer. Crazy. 3 different routes they could have went. Opted not to do that. That's why I work. That is why I work. But like I said, Kate said, my Detroiter hardcore parents, they frighten me. And I'm glad. Yeah, same here. Detroit versus everybody, 313 West Side. Yeah. Like I said, and because of how it is that I grew up, that's what anytime that I had like young, black girls where I'm like, yo, that's what I try to, tell them. Like, of course, being in the friend zone, right? Because you're invisible. But magically, like I'm not even going to rehash that, but like I said, you try to inform, you try to sit up there and tell people, folks don't want to sit up there and listen. But then they want to start crying. They want to laugh now, but they want to cry later. I don't got time for the crying. And I kept sitting up there trying to tell people that for years, and people were like, "Yo, man, that's insensitive." It's like, "Yo, people learn at their own time." I don't got no time for that because it's like when it deals with me, right? If people want me to do something, they want me to do that right now, right? They want it there on their time, right? But now when it's my time, people are like, "Oh no, I'm going to take my time directly on this. I'll wait it out. Give me a little." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, nah, brother, that's not how it works. If you want me to sit up there and be the Flash, I need you to sit up there and be the Death Racer or Godspeed. That's what I need you to do. Right? Be Mercury. However, it translates to a lot of people out there, because I get that a lot of folks are not, DC, deep into DC and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is you got to be faster than me. Fast, if you want me to be Usain Bolt, you got to be faster than that. Right? But that's not how it works. And that's the craziest part. But again, like I said, this is why a lot of problems and situations seemingly won't get fixed. Like I said, it's crazy out here. Diabolical. Diabolical. Yo, Shauna, what is up? What is up? You said let them learn. Oh yeah, I think I did see Gail in here earlier. I could have sworn I made a reply to Gail. What is up, Gail? Shout out to Mo as well too. If Hack, D Money again. Shout out to Pink Mahoko. Shout out to Sunny. We got Marty directly up in here. What is up? What is up? What's up? Cake said, living in Los Angeles, OMG, it's bad for parents raising kids. So much negative exposure in the home these kids are seeing. Yeah, 100%. Cake said, East Side, Mac Ave, and Cadillac. Yes. Yes. Sonny said, how is Detroit? Is that really a place? This man, he got jokes. This man got jokes. Let me see. What is it? Teep said a lot of women have an OF page. I mean, that's great if it's grown women. Like I said, if it's a grown woman doing it, that's great. That's great for them. I'm talking about somebody that's a teenager, 18. 18. It's TEEN is still there. Like I said, they're a breath away from high school. They're a breath away from 17. You shouldn't be having an OF. Like I said, just like we got a drinking limit, there should be an age limit when creating those pages. Like I said, that's crazy to me. And the other thing I want to also mention as well too is that it gives them a because I done seen a lot of these young, these 18, 19, 20-year-olds on podcasts who got like OFs. It gives them a false sense of like superiority, because they now think that because they've amassed all of this money that they are now better than a lot of the men directly out here. I'm like, yeah, that's not how that works. I'm like, you are literally selling yourself and you made your money because of men. It'd have been different if like you just made your money because of women. All right, cool. You got something right there, right? But your money came directly from men, which means that if men abandon OF at any point in time, like if times get hard, let's say like if war whatever breaks out, yeah, good luck. Good luck. Like I said, the only reason that OF and a lot of this other stuff was like popping off was because of the pandemic. That's it. If it was not for the pandemic, a lot of these folks out here who got these pages, they wouldn't even have them. They wouldn't even have them. They would go right back to what they were doing before, which was making an X account, and they were just having like they free pictures or whatever else directly up there, and then that would be the lead in. But now it's transitioned from that to them making a TikTok, or yeah, them making a TikTok and having all of that information directly up there. Them making a Twitch, having the information up there. Them making a YouTube video about breastfeeding in 4K, having the information up there. Like I said, it's crazy out here, man. And this is why I try to sit up there and tell people like, yo, when y'all give y'all phones directly over to like these small children, there's a lot of stuff directly out here. A lot of these women, a lot of these 18, 19-year-olds who make that type of content, they're on TikTok as well. What does that then mean? That means that they are now able to engage and get to the impressionable kids. The same thing I try to tell people about Twitch, because Twitch for about several years has had a problem with those same female content creators, quote unquote, being gamers, quote unquote, and they're wearing like pretty much nothing. They got a terms of service directly up there for nudity and stuff, but those women, Twitch just allows women to skate by that. They got like spread eagle, fully naked, all of that stuff, and they barely get banned. But if a dude does like one thing, he might say like a racial slur, up, you're off the platform for good. Which one? Of course, they're both bad, but you can use the racial slur thing as an educational lesson or something. However you want to sit up there and write that. You can't sit up there and use a woman's nudity as well. Oh, this is we're going to write it off as art. Do you not see how the female body is basically curved and how soft the human body is? You know, the different types of imperfections and how this basically looks in the light and how the clothes form fit her. So no, you're not going to be able to work this into art. It's nudity, and the medium age range that it takes to make a profile on Twitch is 13. So let that sink in. You got half naked women on Twitch that claim to be gamers on a platform that specifically has the medium age range for you to make a profile at 13 or 14. Which means that as soon as you got that profile, you can start perusing and going through a lot of videos. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy work. But like I said, it'd be like that. Gail was like, so that's why I said you love Twitch. That's crazy. Funny thing, Gail, is I don't even be on Twitch. Y'all haven't actually seen me on Twitch in a while. In a while. I think what was the last time? I think Tippy remembers. I think that was like during the pandemic. That might have been like 2023. And I think it was like maybe like Tippy and Pink that were there. And the game that I was playing, I think, was Remnant from the Ashes 2. I think that should have been the game. Gail got jokes. She does this every single time. She'll just sit in the background listening, and she'll just wait. She'll be like, I know it says you're gonna say something, and that's when I'm going to get them. Every time for years. Several years. This woman has been getting me like this. Crazy work. It's diabolical. Tippy said, yeah, I remember. Yo, Brother Carl said Gail got a chance. Shana said, wow. Cake said, Detroit is okay to raise a child. I was raised in Detroit in a rough area by having parents that were firm and didn't play. All my siblings, we can out. Oh, you said we came out great, and respect was the number one rule in the house. Yeah, that's bars. like I said, you got a lot of folks. Not talking about like you, Sonny, but you got other folks like Cake knows. Like if she's been on for the like, let's say like the last 10, 15 or whatever years. Like let's say if you looked at you already know these channels. If you looked at Fox 2, right, which is in Southfield, WDIV and XYZ, which are both downtown Detroit, right? If you went to any one of those sites when they had news stories directly up, the main thing, the main common denominator that you would see up there is white folks from the suburbs. It could be Utica, it could be Hells, Michigan, what's another far off? Oxford, um, Grand Blanc, what like some far off places, and that the percentage of black people out there are little to nil, right? But those would be the same folks giving out comments in the comment sections underneath the stories talking about, oh, Detroit needs to be nuked, it needs to be washed away, it just needs to be cleaned, cleansed of everything that is there, and yada yada yada. And I'm like, nah, it's crazy to say that knowing that you like 100 miles away. It's like, but you'll never say that being in Detroit. You would never open your mouth. And I can tell you all this. I done seen white people in Detroit. And I ain't never run into a white person that has said the same stuff that they say online. I ain't never, and they got their Facebooks attached. I ain't never sit up there and see them say that in Detroit, in the public. They ain't stupid. So this is why black people be saying at 99 different times that white people are real quick to sit up and say some stuff online, but when it deals with being face to face or within close proximity to black folks, mum is the word. People are quiet. They start putting on the white democratic type of thing. It was like, oh, how are you doing today? Things looking great today. Oh yeah, my begonias are going great. They're doing all of that. I'm just in the market looking for some Dijon mustard. It's all of that type of stuff happening. It's never none of that rah 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 that they like to do on Facebook, on the Facebook news pages or on the news pages, comment sections. Crazy work. It's diabolical. And like I said, white folks be downtown Cake, know what I'm talking about? Down in Greektown. See a white people. It's like a salt and pepper shaker down there. And they not sitting up there talking crazy. Like I said, they know better. They 1000% know better. Like I said, it's an unspoken rule. You just don't get stupid. We don't have to get stupid with you. That's all you got. That's all it is. You act like you got some common sense. Everything is good. Kay said lots of white people in Detroit. Yeah, they starting to do that influx because all of those high price homes that they had in the suburbs, yeah, it's not looking too great now. They want to now, they want to pay less. Right. So instead of them having that $500,000 house, they'll rather deal with something for like 100,000 or less in Detroit, where they can just put all of that money in building up that house or getting some lots and stuff. That's what they want to do now. So that's the displacement that white folks are trying to do. So it's like, influx of white people here. We're going to push out the black people here. Now, some people are going to be like, how are they going to push out the black people? It's not like they're just kicking you guys out. Correct. They're not. But financially, that is what is going to happen. Because normally when you have people that are able to throw out a lot of money, that's going to start to raise a lot of prices because the businesses, the housing and everything is going to start to go up. Because people are like, oh, y'all got people here that can actually afford it. So we're going to just start putting up these prices. So now you're going to have black people in the black community that's always been there. You're going to start to get outpriced. Now the mortgage or the rent that they normally had that was standard issue for the last 10, 15 or whatever years that's been fine. Now it's going to be exorbitant for no reason. And only because white people moving in. Now because we got some bike lanes, because we got a tea shop. Like I said, the moment in time, I already saw like the whole thing dealing like Corktown. I'm like, here we go. And then they started talking about some Upper Detroit. What the hell are you talking about, Upper Detroit? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like I said, any white folks in quote unquote Upper Detroit, those are the ones that always said that they would never be in Detroit and there's no reason for them to be in Detroit and all of this other type. I don't got no time for that. I'm not having no conversations with nobody that starts off by telling me that they're from Upper Detroit. I'm out. I already clocked out of that conversation. I clocked out. Brother said, Lord has it that if you're a black man from Detroit, you can sing like Smokey Robinson during the football season. Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. Cake said, and all of Detroit is not tore up. Yeah, like I said, where I grew up, it was not torn up. But I love telling that story because people always try to make it seem as though that everywhere around Detroit is some type of way. No, things happen eventually, or maybe things happen because it didn't fully recover. Like I said, you had the Detroit riots that took place, and there are areas on Dexter that did not fully recover. In other areas, like it just did not fully recover, and it be like that. You know, not saying that it can't recover. Right now, and things. I mean, I really wish things would have went better. Things could have been so different, but people would rather run and instead of like invest, which is crazy. So, change is going to happen. It's going to happen. Oh yeah, the riverfront, yeah. Belle Isle, yeah, yeah, yeah. First Corinthians said, I don't make eye contact with black people because I don't want to smoke. I'm not sure how to take that one. Slightly, I'm offended, and then slightly, I'm not. I don't know. Cake said, riverfront off of Jefferson. Oh yeah, yeah. Sonny said Detroit equals I dare you to Canada. Cake said Black Bottom. Raxter said looks like the Arabs. Cake said yes, I can sing. Raxter said I went to Detroit in December. All I saw was Arabs and blacks. The blacks. Are you what area? What part of Detroit? First of all, now the only main place, at least from what I can think, that you would even see Arabs was primarily gas stations, right? You might got the Chaldeans or the others that got the gas stations and stuff like that, and then the Asians they got the nail shops, beauty supply shops on lock, right? Cool. Now, if you're talking about Arabs, you might have been in Dearborn. You might have been in Dearborn. Dearborn has the highest, the highest densest population of Arabs in the United States, bar none. Nobody comes close. Nobody comes close. New York, Texas, nobody comes close. Like I said, they're so deep in Dearborn, Michigan, that Dearborn at one point in time it was white and other, and now it's just pretty much Arab. Like they got their own like police. They be doing like marches and all this other type of stuff. They be having their religious their call to prayer that be blaring directly out. Like that's how crazy it's gotten. But like I said, I tried to warn New York, and I tried to warn other folks directly out there. But people want to say that I'm xenophobic. Yeah, nah, I'm not trying to hear nobody's call to prayer. I'm just gonna be honest. I respect your religion, whatever it is, was whatever it is. But I ain't trying to hear that at like 4 to 5 in the morning and throughout the day. Like, nah, that's crazy. That's wild to me. But like I said, people brought it on themselves. Um, Cake said, wintertime, you're in the basement singing with your music. Thus is why we sing so good. I mean, that and also like singing, I said singing in the shower as well, too. Brother said Detroit has so much rich Black American history. Yeah, that's bars. Yo, what is up, Sham? Sham said, who I got a shadow ban today. Oh, yeah. Oh man, Sham was hilarious. Raxa said, "No offense." I'm so used to hearing stuff at this moment in time. I'm not shocked. I don't feel a certain type of way about stuff no more because I expect it. You know. Sean, what is up? You said hit the like button. Cake said you forgot the Italians and the Polish. Yeah, I mean you barely see them. I mean, maybe in Greek town and maybe some other air. Well, if you're talking about like Dearborn or getting up there towards like Dearborn, yeah. I get you. I get you. I get you. Cake said the Arab slash Dearborn. Yep. Tippy said, "Is the Motown building still standing?" Yeah. Motown is still standing. It's right near it should be like North. Cake, you gotta correct me. It's been a minute that I went there. Like I said, I went there in middle school when I went to Halle, and they wanted to show us Northwestern. Should have been during the time Northwestern Tech Vocational, I guess, high school. And down the way, on the other side of the street, you'll see the Motown building, pink and everything. Like I said, dope stuff. Awesome. I might have the schools incorrect because that's not Central. I think did my mom go to Central? I forgot. My mom, somebody went to like Central. I forgot. It's quite a few in city famous schools that a lot of folks went directly to. Man said if I go to Detroit, I hope to at least see Jesse Williams. Uh, I'm not sure where that dude would be at. You would probably have to. You might see him in like the outskirts, possibly, like let's say like in Ann Arbor, like Royal Oak, type of deal, maybe. Or downtown Detroit. Like the most that I've seen of a quote unquote celebrity, was one of the newscasters. He was driving like his Bentley, and he was on. It wasn't like West Grand. What was the street? It was by Farmer Jack. I forgot where it was. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. But wherever the grocery store was, you knew that it was him because he was the only one driving a Bentley. And I'm like, oh snap, that's the black dude from Fox too. I'm like, oh snap, I ain't seen him in a minute. I'm like, I was pretty dope. Cake said I heard so much negative stuff about the D. Most of it is false. Yeah. Yep. Tippy said I didn't know she had a church. R.I.P. Sham said I'm busy this week. Warm weather's setting in, and I gotta go outside and get fixed up. Okay. Sham out here feeling better. Cake said the Aretha Franklin Church is still there. Right. What is it, Miss? What is it, Miss? Wait, am I saying it right? Miss Ali. Okay, yeah. So Miss Ali said, I don't know the way people can pick up their phones and press record and make up false stories is cringe what the internet has evolved into. I mean, yeah. That is a valid point. You do have people out here that will say stuff in order to, get attention. That does happen. But it's like, what you're gonna do directly about it. And it only works out. It only works in the favor of like women, being able to, go out there and make stories and stuff like that. Guys can't really do it. A guy can't just like get online and start boohoo crying and automatically just have people just there. Like, hey, they about to start cashing out on dude real quick. Yeah, that, ain't about to happen. But because there's, I guess you could say money involved, that's what people are gonna do. That is what people are going to do. Wait, let me see something. Still standing. Wait, how? I'm a little bit confused. Am I missing something here? Hold on. I'm highly confused. 'Cause I'm trying to look back and forth real quick. Trying to spot something. Let me see. What's the Mr. Trevor said would have done that if she was a boy. Just curious. Huh? What? So what you're asking is if the father would have put out his son if he got online and was probably wearing barely any clothes and doing God knows what in the front living room. And I think people are missing that. The girl was doing stuff in the living room. Like everybody can see this. And the guy, he was like, yo, this ain't even my daughter. I'm not trying to see that. It's like I got kids, I got impressionable kids. I'm not raising those kids like that. And I'm not trying to sit up there and see that in my household, right? I'm pretty sure he would have sat up there and put out that boy as well too. Like I'm not sure why people are thinking that, oh, well, maybe if you sit up there and switch the sexes, I bet you things would have been different. No, it's going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be the exact same thing. Yo, what is up with people? What is up with folks nowadays? Like I don't understand. I'm a little bit confused on the type of time that people are in, where you think that the conversation is going to swap up just because the what's the name is different. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No. Like that is wild. Let me see what else we got. Let me scroll directly through because I'm looking at both. Cake said, Wilbur Ave, Motown, house up the street from Ford Hospital. Yep. Sham said they mostly white flighted to Grand Rapids back in the day and Meteor Detroit. Wait. Oh, you said I'm sorry, Metro Detroit. Italians was a lot. Emmanuel said Motown. Yeah, this man. David says so race ain't got nothing to do with her daddy issues. Emmanuel says celebrity, no, just Williams is a robot in Detroit. This man. Kay said my family know all of the dramatics, LJ Reynolds, Ron Banks, Wenzel just passed last year. RIP. Kate said most of the singers in Detroit not hard to see and or meet. Sham said, yeah, I'm going to hit the gym slowly. I got my workout regimen set up. Doctor said I got to do baby steps right now. Okay, I got you. David said your thumbnail. I just got here. I'm not even sure what the thumbnail even looks like, just to be honest. Because normally I don't even set thumbnails. I rarely do sometimes. Mary said, wait, so Detroit doesn't have futuristic crime solving robots? this man stuck on Detroit become human. Oh my goodness. David said, good point. It's disrespectful to the home, not the race and or the gender. Emmanuel said it's inappropriate. Shem said he did the right thing. You act grown, you can leave home and be grown in your own home. People let kids just do anything, then wonder why they out of control. Terrence said, I'm from Ann Arbor, and Detroit is Rock City. Right? Manuel said, how come I can't log on? Y'all always let Jameer shake a little D to keep his phone. Yo, that's crazy. That is wild. All right. So now, since we are past the segue, right, we're going to go directly back into the previous conversation dealing with this Grape festival. So we're going to look directly at that.
Why is culture always against women? Why is society always against women? Why is the world always against women? Women this, women that, women are not supposed to do this, women. It is tiring. Get shy there, don't really suffer. But you get shy they see. If you be woman, they born you be woman. Life they give you 1-0. They can't born you for Africa. Life they give you 2-0. God punish you. They can't born you for Nigeria. Life they give you 10-0. Because tell me why. The Ozoro rubbish will happen for Delta State. My state, Delta State. People call the talk now say it is not a festival for graping women. It's a festival that women are not supposed to come out. So what if a woman comes out? What is the repercussion? You grape them? Now human beings, they sit down. They form all this culture. Men, now they form mama. Why woman not supposed to come out? What's it be the problem? What's it be the problem? I watch video, my heart they skip. Like I can't even digest it. The screams. You get one girl with a tear clothes, they say run. Some guys, some bastards. They say you define Toto they decide. Shame on all of una. Shame on all of una. Shame. God punish all of una. I see teenagers, boys, useless boys. You get mind. They assault women because she come outside. So people are even defending. They say, hey, but they are not supposed to come outside. Shut up your mouth. Shut up your mouth. Indeed, we are not angry enough. Indeed, we are not angry enough. In 2026, festival day, where we say if woman come outside, they'll assault them. They'll emotionally, psychologically, physically assault her. In 2026, in Delta State, God punish all of una. God punish all of una.
I'm disappointed as a Nigerian, but mostly disappointed as a Deltan. I am a Deltan. So, you people have what they call Grape Festival in 2026. Like, a group of men will come together, select a day, and tell you, we announce dates. You announce 7 days. 7 days. Even God, when He created heaven and earth, rested on the 7th day. 7 whole days to go out there. See any woman, catch them and grape them. Shame on you. We don't have commissioner of police in Ozoro. We don't have commissioner for women affairs in Ozoro. We don't have a king in Ozoro. We don't. We don't have House of Assembly members, House of Representative members, local government chairman in Ozoro. Are you serious? In 2026? And their defense is, we announced it. Shut up your stupid mouth. I don't know. This is the most irritating thing I've ever seen or heard all my life. And you would think it's not happening until it happens to you. Until it happens to your sister. Until it happens to your mother. The world is no longer safe for women. God, I'm so tired. Like, my friend has literally been calling me that, Vicky, are you not seeing what is happening online? I'm like, what's happening? I've not really been around. Throughout today, I was not around. Yesterday, I literally slept early because I had like ulcer attack. Like, my ulcer was disturbing me. I had to take injection. I just slept. And I've been on my business account. So there's a way I built my business account. I don't want it to be toxic. So I built my business account brick by brick. And she has been writing me all day, Vicky, are you not seeing what is happening? I said, let me switch to my other. I need to come here and see that it is really happening in broad daylight in 2026. Yes, it is happening. We don't have a governor. What will become of those girls that have been... When I say that 70% of men are wicked, people make me feel like I hate men. I don't hate men. I'm telling you the truth. In all of that video, 50 men, I never saw one guy say, it's okay, make una leave him. It's all right. I never saw one man say, it's okay. It's not right. Don't do it. Stop it. I never saw one man. I never saw in that video. Ladies, look after yourself. Oh. That's to tell you, if a typical man has every means to hurt you as a woman, he will go ahead to do it. He will just go ahead. He doesn't give a hoot about you. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to be selfish with yourself. And I can't even think about the trauma, those girls, all those women that have been raped for 2 days now. And I cannot even begin to think about the trauma they'll be facing by now. Imagine a group of men, a group of violent men, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 men forcing themselves on you. Just imagine. I'm sure none of them, or maybe half of them, will not even wear condoms. So you are at the risk of HIV, AIDS, hepatitis, syphilis, gonorrhea, any deadly ailments or sickness that you can think about. Why? Because you're a woman living in Ozoro. That is all you need to be. I'm so sad. I'm so angry. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. I can't even understand. I can't think about it. Like, it's so sad. This is the saddest thing I have ever heard all my life. Women, look after yourself. But the society is failing us every blessed day. Society is failing us, like we're in a society where women cannot be women anymore. And you open your gutter mouth to say, I announced it. You announce what? They'll announce your death. I can imagine what will become of those men when they grow up to become adult parents in the society tomorrow. Then they talk one will say, if you know fit be sumo picking well, you know go fit still be adults well. You get one word when our elders they talk like that. So these are the men that we're going to marry in the society. These are going to be the fathers of our children in the society. These are the brothers, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, and the grandfathers that we are going to be with in the society. God, that beg, my head they burst. These are the men we are going to marry in the society. These ones that gang raping women in broad daylight in 2026. These are the men we are going to marry in the society. And tomorrow you tell me, Vicky, why you not marry? God punish you. God punish you. These are the men that are going to grow up to be fathers in the society. If you like, no look where. And when the curse of the Lord will be upon you, you marry an innocent girl, carry your curse, bundle the girl, join your curse, make the girl follow you, they suffer. Root of curse. 35 years ago, you grape an innocent girl on the roads. To be too late by then. These are the ones that every blessed day they buy them on the road. Every blessed day. These are the people. We're calling on the Commissioner of Police in Ozoro. Please, must arrest any man you see on the road. Arrest all of them. Arrest all of them. Must arrest all of them. This is the kind of things we cannot tolerate in our society. That shouldn't be, that shouldn't exist, that shouldn't even be heard of, be seen in our society. God, I'm so exhausted. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I'm so tired. There's no hope for a common woman. Even in the village, you are not safe. In the city, in the society, there's just no hope for a common woman in the society. God. Sheriff, Mingwasa, what are you doing about it? You've not deployed men to Ozoro by this time? You've not deployed men to Ozoro by this time? Since yesterday? It is well. It is well, oh. It is well. May the causes of the pains of those women and the men that engage in such evil acts, may they never go unpunished in the mighty name of Jesus. You will suffer.
So, yep. And as I stated earlier about some hours ago, about over 2 hours ago, the fact that when you look online, you will see way more African women talking about this than you will African men. And I'm like, that's pretty problematic to me. I'm like, nobody's highlighting that. Nobody's speaking about that. Nobody's like, yeah, we need to shine a spotlight on that. We need more of those men to speak out, especially of that community over there in Nigeria, in that area. Out of all of the folks over there that got social media, that got cell phones and all this other type of stuff, why haven't all of those men over there jumped online and basically speak out against this? That's all I'm saying. Like, that's a little bit weird to me. A little bit weird to me. And like I said before, it was just up until, recent that the quote unquote king, decided that he wanted to speak on the situation. And then you got the first lady, she wanted to speak on the situation. But like I said, this is something that's been going on from at least what I was able to understand from the previous video that I gave to you guys yesterday, around at least like a good 2015, 2016, well, 2015 to 2017 area range. So that's a while. That's a long while that this has been going on. And it's now just now being highlighted and called out. So within those years of span of years, I'm sorry, how many women and young girls have had to, suffer and go through that trauma in silence and had nobody to turn to or go directly into, on top of the fact that I got other videos as well where I think I even put it in this live stream. One woman specifically stated that she was saying shame on the police because there's women that have come forward with cases dealing with assault, and the fact that the police have left those cases cold speaks volumes. Because the thing I told people before, just like as one of the other women stated in this clip, she stated that some of the main guys in Nigeria that lead with their money, that you see them driving like the nice cars and all this other type of stuff, they were amongst those crowd of men that were going out there assaulting women. So if you got those rich dudes doing that in Nigeria, then what does that then mean for the police? The police can easily match in with like any, normal dude out there in Nigeria. So best believe the police were out there too. They were just in plain clothes, matching in, doing the exact same things. Like I said, it's crazy. They don't want to, it's crazy work. It's crazy work out here. That festival been like that, and then it's to the point where you even got like the young boys out here, copying and modeling themselves like after that. That's crazy. That's diabolical. But I guess that is that Nigerian culture, right? That's that Nigerian culture that they're so proud of. Right, that's a part of their traditions, along with their languages and and all this other type of stuff. Because remember, they said Black Americans don't have no culture. So I'm like, if this is what culture has to be in order to have it, I'm like, y'all can have that. Yeah, I'm completely fine with y'all saying that I don't got no culture, because I've never in my lifetime, as grown up Black America in these United States, have been around groups of men or young boys where they're just out there on a prowl and giving women curfews where it's like, hey, you better not be out this day. If you out on these streets, it's on site. We got you. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's diabolical. And I understand completely now looking at this, I understand why there is an area um in Africa where there's like solely like women in a certain area and they protect themselves. They got guns and everything. I completely understand it because this type of stuff is crazy. Like that is 1000% crazy. Like those women there, literally, if people want to talk about women fearing for their lives, those are women right there fearing for them fearing for their lives. And then the craziest part is after those 7 days, and let's say a woman did get caught out on the streets, that same woman then has to go out and walk those streets and see the exact same men that did that to her. And they're just out there free. And those dudes are probably sitting up there smiling. They sitting up there trying to say hi to her, probably, making jokes and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, it's bad. It's horrible. But it's crazy. It is crazy. And that's the other thing I want to sit up there and state to folks as well too on the last note for a lot of women that complain about the privileges that they got in the United States. Things could be far worse. Things could be far worse. Like I said, if you're a woman and you think that you don't have no type of rights, a way to speak or say so in these United States, go over there, go over to the Middle East and wear the stuff that you like sitting up there wearing, dress the way that you like sitting up there dressing to be out there in public. Go out there and do that. Go out there and do that. Move and talk as loud as you want to sit up there and talk in those other countries, and let's see if you happen to make it back. Like I said, or better, it's like I said, you can just take the example and look at Nigeria. 7 days that women are basically told you better not be outside. Huh? That's wild. A neighborhood, an area which you live and grew up in for 7 days, you can't be up out there like it's vampires outside. That's crazy. That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Somebody said this happens every day, and this happens in every city in the United States. What type of crack are you smoking? Somebody said, you're not painting those countries in a good light. What are you talking about? First of all, let me just look at you. Dog, you're smoking a high and mighty crack. You need to whatever you're on, you need to just drop it. You need to get clean pronto immediately. Immediately. Because you are on the strongest of rocks at this moment in time. You're snorting kryptonite at this moment in time. Like that's what you're doing. Like that's crazy. I don't know how you thought that this is like a factual statement and you don't got no stats to back that up. This happens every day in every city. And what? Yo, smoking rocks, smoking clear rocks. Easy Ross said you're not painting those countries in a good light, sir. I'm supposed to paint countries in a good light. I'm supposed to paint areas of which that either don't like black people or that have said negative things about black. I'm supposed to be the one out here talking. The craziest part is why don't y'all ever have this energy towards the white news, towards mainstream media? When white folks get on the news every single day in badmouth countries, why don't y'all sit up there and say something? How many times has Trump got online and called places like shithole countries? Huh? Huh? But no. People ain't really saying nothing. But when I sit up there, I'm not even saying nothing close to that. I'm just speaking on the topic at hand. You're like, man, you really not talking about those other countries. You need to do better. Lord have mercy. That's crazy. Criticize me, but not for thee. That's some wild work. 1000%. Let me tell you something right there, brother. That's crazy. Crazy part is also as well is that a lot of these clowns, they got more problems with me talking versus the actual issue, which is the content within the videos, the stuff that's actually happening. It's crazy how that works. I need the government need to check y'all out. That's some crazy work right there. Mm, it's crazy. Y'all real quick to sit up there and call out, hey. Let me see. Somebody said, dude, I'm glad to be hearing it from a black voice. Another one said, yes, ain't none of these tethers saying nothing about this awful practice, aka the festival. Yeah. It's crazy work. It's diabolical. It's diabolical. Mm, mm, mm. So so let me go back to what I said before because I saw somebody try to throw Roland Martin. I don't care what Roland Martin doing. That dude is like a millionaire. I don't really care in a sense what that dude is sitting up there doing. He made his millions directly off of politics. Don't care. Um, for me, when I basically speak directly on this, when I sat up there and said white folks, I'm talking about white people. I don't care about what any of these other black folks is out here sitting up there doing. Like I said, when it comes to me speaking directly on this stuff, y'all come and critique me on what I say, but you're not critiquing me on the videos. I'm clearly pointing out the problem here, and all you're doing is basically, let me sit up there and keep throwing these black content creators directly about here. I don't care about the black content creators and what it is that they doing. I don't obviously you care. Obviously you care, which is cool. That's great. That's awesome. I frankly do not care because I'm doing my own thing on my own side. Just saying. Dear Lord, you were like, hold on. I'm a little bit confused for the two older folks that are here, and I know that y'all older. For Easy and DD, it's almost as if y'all either writing from the same profile or that y'all know each other or something like that. Because it's like y'all both magically came at the same time and started speaking. And then you guys are going to bat for these other black content creators, which nobody even said anything negative about, but you're listing all of them directly up here for what purpose? When I specifically stated that when I speak directly on this, random people in the comment section don't ever have the type of mouth and energy to try to go up to white people and critique them when they're doing like their newscasts or when they're live directly on their platforms. That was my point. That was the point right there. Cause like I said, y'all got all of this trying to skate away from the main topic. You're not even focused on the topic. You're not even talking about nothing that was even stated in the video or even the topic of the video. You're just talking about everything else. That's wild to me. That's highly questionable. That is highly, highly questionable. And it really seems though like a lot of people have to take it this far. Seems like some people here are not black American. Because I'm like, how hard is it to talk and stay directly on the topic instead of trying to move the goalpost to something else? Like, hey, look over here. Oh, we got Roland Martin. Oh, look over here. We got Boyce Watkins. Oh, look over here. We got this other person that we're going to list. Oh, look over here. That's crazy. That is wild. That is highly problematic. So in order to get away from the serious issue, you make the conversation into something else. And the lead into that was that, hey, you're not talking about these countries in a good light. Who said that I had to? How do you talk about a place in a good light when you're talking about an atrocity such as this, where young girls and women are basically being harmed? And then the main point that I wanted to bring up was for the women here in the United States that complain that they don't have rights or that it's difficult for them in the United States. Go look at what it is that other women around the world have to deal with, and then we'll have that conversation. like I said, in these United States, as a young black man, I've never ever been around at any point in time where this was happening in Detroit. I've never seen it at all. I was never a part of it. I was never around it. I never even heard whispers of this. But like I said, you can't tell nobody nothing. So let me get this straight. So you said, "What am I yapping about?" You're just imagining stuff. I didn't even see the video. I'm just passing through. You passing through basically means that you see somebody or a video and then you just keep scrolling. You didn't just keep scrolling. You actually stayed here for a little bit of time. Matter of fact, I got you. Let me see. Let me see. Easy. Let's see if we can spot you along with DD. So let me see. The first comment I seen directly of you is at like 5:53. It is currently 6:02. See if we can potentially spot something a little bit further back, shall we? Because 5:32, it might be the what's the name there? Let me see. It wasn't 5:32. It was 5:53. Pardon me, 5:53. Right. So you actually been here for a little bit. You actually been here for a little bit. Right. And again, we got the title directly up there. You can scroll up and down directly on the page and you can see directly what that is, or maybe even potentially roll back through the comments and take the option to look at that. Or you could actually play back the live stream real quick just to catch up. But you opted not to do any of those things or even ask a question in the comment section or even pose one to me. And you're like, nah, bro, I'm just actually passing through. I don't even know what you're talking about right now. But you had a lot to say though. That's crazy. But like I said, trolls be trolling. Trolls be trolling. Zan said, given a lot of people some time, what are we discussing with the frozen screen image? See, at least somebody was asking a question, right? Uh so just as the title for the live stream is basically going over to the Nigerian part of the culture where they have a grape festival where women are supposed to stay indoors for 7 days. And if they are caught outside of those doors, then everything is up for grabs. Right? You can and pretty much imagine whatever you want to sit up there and imagine. And the aspect of me giving time, I mean, I like to go by the comments. If people happen to state some things directly towards me, or somebody's looking for an answer, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to decide to answer. I didn't think that that was a bad thing. I thought that that was a good thing, right? Being a host, I'm going to make sure that it is a very welcoming area. And if you happen to say something like, "Hey, I'm going to respond back," I thought that's how this was supposed to work. Maybe I'm new to doing live streams of social media. I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything at all, but I could have sworn that was a part of class 101 of social media, that you engage with the people who basically pull up. Shauna said these women complaining about black men over here is crazy. When you hear that, yeah. Mo said same, sitting here in the corner. Some in the Bermuda Triangle. Our brother said if Light Yagami from Death Note was real, a lot of folks wouldn't be here. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Azarad said, is this in the Muslim part of Nigeria? That I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. Cake said, people that agree with this type of crime, I wonder what would happen if they saw this happening to their mothers or their sisters. They would change that instantly. Yep. Zan said, what an odd custom. Never heard of it before. It's like an annual or something. It was going on from, at least, like I was telling people before, when I read the comment section, a woman that stated that she was, well, two people that stated that they were assaulted or in the area of, at least around a good 2016, 2015, 2016 being like the starting point to now, right? Because now the king has come out and basically condemned it supposedly. So we'll see what happens next year. If it'll be dressed up as something else or disguised as something else. We'll see. Shauna said no, just women from your last video. They got a guy too. Oh no, yeah. I think I stated that in one of the videos I put up as well too. Like, yeah, it was bad. Like everybody was getting got. Everybody was getting got. Zan said, is there a trace back in history, like a first account mentioning it or something? I mean, again, those who are open enough to basically state, especially, women who have been assaulted, they would be the primary ones to be honest about and speak. The men aren't going to sit up there and say nothing. They're not going to be honest and go online and be like, yeah, this been going on since like 1989. They're not about to sit up there and do that because that's going to make them look horrendously bad. This is already a bad situation. But once you start having those men come out and basically admit how long it's been going on and that they also took part in it, oh boy, that's going to put things into a whole nother area. 24 said that's crazy, and they're trying to say that we're the same people. Black Americans don't have no festival taking women's honor away from them. Yep, we do not. Zan said, we do know that these cultures are generally more violent like that, but if this is a reoccurring custom rather than just a random attacker, then definitely something to be wary of. Yep. Equaro says, Seji, why do you think this topic isn't being discussed enough by those affected by it or their families or friends here abroad? That's happening because a lot of Nigerians think that they're better than those back home. And those same Nigerians here in the United States that ran and fled, they also think that they're better than Black Americans. So they are Nigerian, but they're a different type or a different class of Nigerian. So they're not going to even associate themselves with that. And by way of doing that, they're not going to talk about it either. They're like, yo, that's them back over there. That's not me here in these United States. I don't move like that. That's what they're going to do. So, like I said, you have a lot of people that are ashamed of their culture or parts of their culture and ashamed of a lot of stuff back home, and they would rather not bring it up or talk about it. It's the same thing with Asians. Asians, if you look online, there's a lot of videos of Asian men sitting up there beating a mess. Like the DV over there, when it deals with like Asian men, is crazy. You would need the League of Heroes to deal with that whole situation. Like I said, but you don't really hear Asian women speaking out about abuse. You don't hear Asian women talking about DV or anything like that. It's everybody else. Right? So, people, like to hide a lot of stuff. And then also within that, when it deals with the women there, the women are the ones that are suffering and going through this, but they're also the same women who are protecting the men that are the causation of their pain. So, like I said, it's a lot. It is a lot. Tippy said women in America have a lot more rights than women in other countries. I think in Dubai, women can't drive, they can't dress like prostitutes, and they can't argue with men. Yeah, over there in the Middle East in certain areas, you can't even, as a woman, you better not raise your voice. You raise your voice, oh, you probably getting put in jail. Like, you better not raise your voice. Like, you are not, like I said, the way that folks talk here in these United States, you can't go over to those other countries and be sitting up there yelling and do it. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's not going to end well for you. Like I said, this is why I said before that, in a lot of instances, people can't go everywhere because people are not going to be able to just like leave stuff that's at home at home. A lot of people like, man, that's me denouncing this and me being embarrassed and me taking. No, it's you making sure that if you want to go and visit somebody else's country, you respect their rules and their laws. If they say that you can't get loud and you can't do this, you can't do that, then you just don't do it. If you can't abide by that, then they're not changing it for you. There's not going to be an NAACP. There's not going to be a civil rights movement or any of this stuff basically happening in order for you to feel comfortable there. That's not happening. It's never going to happen. So again, if you want to go there, respect the laws. If you don't want to respect the laws, don't go there. It's that simple. Azarad said they can't become pregnant out of wedlock. It's an embarrassing offense. And okay, you responded back to Tippy. Cake said, "Not in America. This festival would never happen." Yeah, it would never happen here in the United States. You know how many dudes directly out here would pull up to the scene and they just waiting for a moment to get a reason to start spraying down fields of dudes. That'll be the number one reason. That's not happening. They wouldn't even make it. those guys would not survive. Like people, like man, it would be bad. That's the best. That's the best way I could put it. It would be bad for those guys who decide that they want to sit up there and start something like that, and it'll be bad for their families because now they done hem their families up in a situation because they wanted to go out here and commit evil acts. Like I said, it would not even make it. It wouldn't make it. Tippy said, "Do we have problems in America? Of course, but America isn't great either. It's great the most, though. I put it to you like that." Kate said, "American females, most of us have burners." Uh, I like to. Let me see. Now that's the difference. Are we talking about? See, you said burners, so you ain't talking about anything legal. um, right. So now, because I get what you're saying, Kate. I get what you're saying, right? Now, legally, approximately 22% of American women personally own guns, according to recent data, reflecting a rise from about 13 through 15% in the late 2000s. While men are more likely to own guns, roughly 40 to 43%, women represent a rapidly growing demographic of gun owners, often citing protection as the primary reason. Right. So you got 22%. Now, illegally, I don't know. I'm not sure why women would not want to legally carry. You might as well sit up there and do it. So just in case if anything happens, you're within your full fledged legal right, to protect yourself, and you'll at least have some type of laws or whatever, backing you up. Zan said, "I thank you. I'll be looking it up. That is wild to consider. But if this is all true, then the population explosion in the area of Africa makes sense." I mean, yes, there's a lot of reasons for that that population explosion. A lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. Somebody said, Big said, and yet they talk about us 24/7. Yeah, that's true. Jim. Shem said it's an ancient festival. It means they've been doing it for generations, but it is not yearly. It's been gaps in the time frames. I'm guessing whoever runs the village allows it. Cake said even in the States, they won't complain about their abuse. Cake also said even in the United States, Asian females won't complain about their abuse. Yep. Sham said Grape, domestic DV, and is crazy also in Asia. I mean, women basically have zero protections in many countries. Forget the rights. What good is rights if you are not protected? That's true. He said, "Yep, our people wouldn't be having that at all." Sham also stated that also in those countries, women are punished for being in that situation by police and family. They have very little protection in those countries, even if they do have rights. Shanna said, "I know." Zen also said, "Unfortunate that it's hard to deal with these issues. They're their own place with their own ideas, good and evil. Best we can do is try and keep out of that place." That's bars. Like I said, there should be no Black American women over there in Nigeria. Like I say, you are risking everything. I'm not sure for what, but you are risking everything if you decide that you still want to be there after this situation. Like I said, a lot of those men that were a part of that, and they'd be a part of that, every once in a while, now and again, whatever years that it happens, they're still out there in the streets. That's a problem. That means that you got predators literally on the streets running around. Like I said, you could throw a quarter and you could probably hit 20 to 50 of them. Like I said, that's crazy to me. Sham said, like, Korea has DV laws, but for what it's worth, if your government doesn't protect or enforce them, culture and tradition is the reason why this happens. Let me see, what is it? You are the ones who talk of the continent 24/7 and only for bombing. What are you even talking about? I'm highly confused. I'm highly confused. I'm highly confused. Like I said, who was that? Like I said, whoever got the long name directly in chat, I need you to be more specific. If I'm talking about Africans, be very direct. If you're directing it towards me, say Black American. Like I said, I'm not dealing with this like generalization, like you all, you lot, and all. I need you to be very direct and specific. I can sit up there and say white, Asian, Chinese, Latin, Mexican, Spanish, Dominican, Haitian, Jamaican, Caribbean, African. It, like I said, I can be very direct and specific. I need people to start doing the exact same thing. Everybody, grown adults, directly up in here. I don't know what type of time people on, but I need people to catch up. You need to start setting your clocks real quick. Sham said, I mean, with DV in the United States, white men have higher DV rates because the law isn't enforced on them. Yep. Zed said, messed up is what it is. Stay safe out there all. Yep. Shauna said, I agree with you, Seji. Our Black women need to care. And yo, and the craziest part is, like I told folks before, that was some of the content that I was gonna do a lot, more directly of. But I'm like, man, it just got to the point where you just feel like it's a waste of time. It's like, yeah, you want to do it, but it's like, are you gonna waste time on stuff that people really ain't gonna watch? Right. And that's why it would always be laughable to me when people sit up there and try to say stuff about, Black men in general directly out here. I'm like, yeah, this is why a lot of dudes don't want to do nothing. Because you got either, folks don't want to listen, don't want to pay attention, or when you do tell them something that is going to impact their lives and the longevity of their lives in a positive way, people want to be dismissive, or people don't want to listen because they be like, oh, well, why are you telling, women to protect themselves? Shouldn't you tell the men out there not to sit up there and harm us? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. You got it, brother. I'm like, I tip my hat to you. I tip my hat to you and I'm out. I'm dipping. Peace. Like I said, it's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. But yeah, Sean, like I said, I 1,000% agree. Because the one main thing I said before is that dealing with and of course there's there will be some emotional situations that's going to happen and it's not going to end well. But what I'm saying is that for the women out there that have gone through a lot of things, in order for them to feel safe, they need to arm up. Because it first of all, it shouldn't have happened the first time, and I would not want it happening the second time. I would rather the women out here get judged by 6. I'm sorry, judged by 12 instead of being carried by 6. You get what I'm saying? Like I would rather that woman be alive in a court proceeding, having to basically tell the people like, "Yo, why did you do this?" And you were explaining XYZ. This dude was following me. He was doing this and he was doing that. He broke into my house. I would have rather you have to go through that and the whole world listening in, and you got the public behind you and everything else, versus that dude barely getting any time, and he's going to be right back out here going to the next woman doing the exact same thing. That's been a message that I've always put directly out there when it deals with stuff like this. But it be like that. This man Monte, he was like, yo, Seji was good. Just passing through. Yeah, oh man. Oh my goodness. Y'all funny. Let me tell you, y'all funny. What's up, man? Cake said, that's so evil for Nigeria to create a festival like this. Out of here. Yo, what is up? What is up? He said, catch up 100%. Cake said, I have Nigerian friends. I guarantee you, I will be mentioning this to them. This is the first time I've heard it. Yeah, like I said, that's why I do videos. Because if I happen to learn something new and I know I never heard of it, I'm pretty sure a lot of other folks never heard of it either. Like I said, out of all of my years of doing content creation, I've never heard of this festival up until now in 2026. And then, but to know that this has been something that's been going on, or as Sham listed, it's like an off and on, type of thing. It's like, it's wild. Money said, no, Black women don't need to carry. They need a wife school. No, you got. Let me just explain this directly to you. Let me explain this to you. And this is to you talking about etiquette school. Let me explain this to you real quick. I got an aunt that went through a DV situation. This was, I think, during the extent of when I was born. Like I might have been either I wasn't here yet or I was just born. And my aunt went through a DV situation where the dude that she was with basically cut her up with a razor blade. Um so when I sit up there and say that women out here need to sit up there and protect themselves, yeah, women do. I'm not mentioning any type of words directly with that. I'm not mentioning any type of words. I'm not apologizing for that either. Like I said, maybe you're lucky enough where ain't none of the women in your family ever sat up there and went through a DV situation. That's great. Everybody ain't so lucky. But again, because you lack that understanding, you're not going to understand where it is that I'm coming from when I speak directly on this. And like I said before, there is, I guess you would say, a caveat or whatever you want to sit up there and put in there. There will be situations where you're just going to have some women that are just emotional about a situation and a relationship that has nothing to do with DV or anything like that. And they're going to decide, oh, I'm going to use this and take the law into my own hands just because I feel a certain type of way. I've covered stories like that. But like I said, you got to take the bad with the good. If we want problems and situations to be solved, you got options. So if you don't have a lot of folks in the community, and like I said, I gotta both sides of this because I went over this earlier. If you got both parties in the community, both men and women playing into what is happening to women, how are you expecting a solution, anything to get fixed? Those women got to depend on themselves because that's basically how the community is moving at this moment in time. Because everybody is problematic and enabling these things to happen. So yeah. Sham said, what in the world is wife school? Yeah, that's what I said. But I think he said like etiquette or something like that. Kay said next time a Nigerian says something negative about Black American, I got the Orzu, yeah, whatever the festival is, yeah, the Grape Festival. Sham said ethical schools for everyone. Shauna said, I have both. So what you saying? Other person said, in those regions, i.e., regions like West Africa, we are far more unstable with those militaries that never leave us no way in comparison to those other dudes. But this is my main problem. A lot of your folks, like how y'all will come directly through. Like I said, you're talking completely fine and dandy. I don't got no problems with it, right? It's a normal conversation. But a lot of your other folks be pulling up to the scene from Africa, or they'll be in Britain, in the UK, Canada, or in the United States, and they'll pull up to the scene talking we're real wild crazy about Black Americans. So, and my main thing is that we, for Black Americans, because of everything that we went through, we don't got time to sit up there and talk nice. We don't got time to sit up there and talk sweet no more. So, if what I'm saying is coming across as harsh or whatever it is, it be like that. Y'all got to take that up with God. Whoever it is that y'all believe in those nations, whoever it is that y'all worship traditionally or sacrifice, whatever to, y'all got to sit up there and have that out with them. Like I said, we got our own problems directly out here as Black Americans. We don't need nobody pulling up to the scene and trying to, cause more problems and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, we got too much stuff to try to figure out. Most said in Nigeria was common custom to take the softest place in the world and mutilate it beyond repair. What kind of so-called man does this? Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, they do that in a few other areas around Africa too. Sham said, I took some classes in mannerism and etiquette. Everyone, both male and female, needs etiquette. Yeah, that's true. I technically I feel like I need some etiquette classes as well too when it deals with eating. With different cutlery. You got the salad fork, the steak, and all of that type of stuff. So. Sham said, "Mo, you need to know." We'll say, yes, Sham. This man. Big said again, the Nigerians were trying to keep the festival secret. It got out, and on WhatsApp, I'm guessing an accident on their part. Cake said those Nigerian females will be traumatized forever. Yeah, yeah. Sham said, and yes, being more polite or having manners isn't going to stop DV. That's an ignorant way of thinking. Men who hit don't have etiquette for not hitting. Yeah, that's true. That's bars. That is bars. That is 100% bars. But like I said, in a lot of ways, you try to put out information and help folks. And if people don't want to listen, it be like that. You gotta just let people move. You know how it is that they move. Cake said, "So glad this information got out." Yeah, I'm glad too, for a multitude of reasons. And I hope from this that those Nigerian women who have been through this situation, if their minds will basically allow it, along with their bodies, because sometimes like the mind could be there, but your body is like, no, we're shutting down, right? If everything is functioning in a way where it's like, all right, we want to talk about this, I hope that they do talk about this. I hope that this will open that doorway so that this can now be talked about. But the other problem that's going to happen as well too is that you're going to have the older women who are a part of that Nigerian culture. They know about it, probably have been through it, and they're going to look at those women speaking out as a problem or with with a certain type of hatred or disdain. I've seen that happen in other cultures, especially in Muslim cultures, when you got the young women basically speaking out about the traditions and how this is wrong and all this other type of stuff. The older women are the ones that be trying to like put them in line or all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, no, the young girl is right. It's like what's happening here is jacked. It's like that's not, but like I said, that's their culture. That's how they sit up there and move. You know, that's how folks out here moving. Cake said, I know that Nigerian men will deny this festival. Yeah, yeah, yep. Shauna said yes, and thanks for making us aware also. Said, hey, no problem. No problem. Like I said, that is what the platform is for, to sit up there and put out stuff that everybody ain't talking about or may not be aware of. You know, that is what it's for. This man Mo, oh man, can't take y'all nowhere. Can't take people nowhere. Swear to God. But that is basically it. We've been going for about a good what, like yeah, 3 hours and 21 minutes. I ain't even know what time it is. It's like it's basically 6:30 over here. So much love, respect, and appreciation. I'm gonna let those out there, enjoy the little bit of daylight that y'all got, you know, and everything of the sort. No, we didn't forget. Tippy was listed in a previous, probably about like 10 to 15 like comments up. Big said they're not talking about that download culture over there too. Yeah, that's there too because in one of the videos, a man he got assaulted too, trying to protect his girlfriend. Yeah. Cake said, just think if the female gets pregnant, yeah, that's bad. Yo, Kid Gravity, what is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Yo, D Money, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? What is going on? I want to sit up there and say my apologies for notifications going out. Pretty late to a lot of folks directly out there. Ain't nothing much I can do. I mean, we do got a Discord and stuff, so that I think that gives the notifications a little bit more readily and quicker directly to people versus anything else. It's pretty much an old ghost town, at this moment in time, remnants of what used to be, right? But the notifications and things like that are still working and still up there, and it lets you know the different live streams I've posted like over there over the years, and different things of that nature. But like what you said, in West Africa, not just Nigeria, our main problems are Western militaries, including blacks fighting for white folks. Festival dudes could be negotiated, possibly, but nobody can negotiate with the West. So this is the thing. I'll put it to you like this, because somehow, some way, I knew there was going to be a moment in time like, yo, black people are the problem. Cool, fine, no problem. If you don't want to deal as Africans, if you don't want to deal with the West, why don't you get rid of Europe, Russia, China, and America out of the country? If everybody running that country looks just like you, same tribe or multiple tribes, but of the same land, traditions, spirituality, different languages here and there. Why is it so difficult for y'all to actually come together? Y'all all pretty much look the same. Y'all all grew up on the same landmass. Why is it so hard for y'all to come together in a government that looks like you, police that looks like you? If you got a military that looks like you got everything that looks like you, but yet you're having a problem with the West being over there. That's a little bit odd. Because my problem is that a lot of Africans, they speak highly of themselves. They have such pride. But then at the same time, when it deals with, all right, take responsibility for this, that, and the third, then it's like, well, we can't do that because America is here. Who told you to let America there? Who told you to let America in? Who told y'all to let Bill Gates in there? Did we forget about in the Congo, Leopold of Belgium II and what he did? Because that's what happens when you sit up there and let Europeans in. They take everything from feet, limbs, children, everything. So I'm like, so you have this deep history dealing with Europe, and for whatever reason, you thought it was in your best interest to let America in. Better yet, I'm not going to blame you, your government that looks like you, that you vote for. They thought it was in the best interest of the people to allow America directly in there. And again, like I said before, y'all got Bill Gates up there just running them up, trying to, help out with, different devices for women so, they can stave off getting pregnant for about a good 10 years. But like I said, people don't want to listen. Sham's like, gotta do some grocery shopping. All right, Sham. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Mo said, what is it? Dontavius Jerome in the house, aka D Money. D Money said Timmy always pushing the propaganda in Discord. Man, yo, lunch, what is up? You said exactly. Sham said LOL. Cake said ta ta. Shauna said, so that is why they don't know their father. Yeah, over there in Nigeria, it's crazy. And I cover that as well too. And like I said, people want to get mad at me for talking about this, but I'm like, talk about the homelessness over there in Nigeria and other African countries. Talk about the types of curable diseases that are carried from insects that could be cured. Talk about the diseases that come from open defecation that again could be cured. Talk about the lack of waste management, right? Talk about the amount of children's shelters because you got so many orphanages. Talk about the fact that over there, at least in the Nigeria, the amount of women that are lying about who the father of the child is astronomical. It's crazy work. On top of the poverty, on top of the STDs, like I said before, it's crazy. People want to get mad at the truth. You don't want to get mad at the people that's doing it or the system that allows it, which looks like you, but you want to get mad at somebody for talking about it and highlight it. That's wild work. That's wild work. But like I said, everybody gonna learn. Everybody's gonna have their turn on the wheel. But the difference is now when you get that turn on the wheel, everybody's going to be able to watch it. See, we wasn't able to watch it, back in, let's say, like the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, 50s, 40s, and 30s. Like stuff wasn't really televised like that. It might have been written about, but it really wasn't televised. Now it's going to be televised. And I'm going to be right here to sit up there and report on it like I normally do. So if y'all don't want me to say nothing, then make sure ain't nothing happening. And especially make sure you ain't sitting up there talking crazy about Black Americans. Like I said, it's real simple. It's real simple. But anyways, that's it for the live stream, y'all. That's pretty much it. Been going for about almost close to 3 hours and 30 minutes. Much love, respect, and appreciation to anybody who might have sent any type of jewels directly in the chat. Shout out to anybody that sent a super chat. Shout out to all of the members. Shout out to the regulars, as D Money would sit up there and say. Gotta do it the old fashioned way. Shout out to all of my awesome and beautiful moderators directly out here. D Money be like, man, this man always calls me beautiful. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, shout out shout out to all my moderators. Much love, respect, and appreciation for y'all, coming through, pulling up, and doing the job that y'all do, every single time, either seen or unseen. Shout out to anybody that's a part of the Patreon, as well too. And shout out to any new subscribers. And shout out to the MVPs, aka the trolls. Much love. You said it's not us, it's the puppet we voted for. Selection, not election. Selection did you protect Toulouse? Did you not protect Rosewood? See, the craziest part is this though. Let me tell you something real quick. Because I'm guessing you're African, because it seems like you're getting like offended. So this is why you got to start, listing a lot of these cities and stuff. You do realize that dealing with chattel slavery, a lot of black folks fought back, right? Lost lives, but we fought back. We caused a lot of slave revolts, right? It's funny that when y'all want to list a lot of the things that have happened to Black Americans, y'all want to go back and list what it is that we've talked about, the atrocities that have happened. You'll be like, oh, but y'all didn't protect this. You didn't do this, and you do know the clear cut difference is, right? We're Black Americans in America dealing with a system, and we have to teeter this line. You don't understand that because you don't understand it. Now, you being African, there's no line for you to teeter. If you're talking about corruption, then get out the corrupt people that look just like you. If you don't like the police, get out the police that look just like you. You got everything that you need directly out there in order to facilitate a type of Wakanda, but yet that's not happening. And you want to sit up there and lean on and be like, oh, but you Black Americans, you didn't protect this. You didn't. Look here, we actually speak and we fought with our governments. We fought with our police. What are you sitting up there doing? Nothing. You allowing Russia to sit up there and trick you and run you down. You allowing the United States to trick you and run you down. Bill Gates to trick you and run you down. Right now, I think somewhere over in Kenya, you got some Israelis trying to formulate land over there in African soil. Call me surprised. Oh, wow, how that's happening. And then they said that it's supposed to be a thing in between Israel and Africa where everybody comes together, and they already got the plans for the land where they're going to have this housing and all this other type of stuff basically there. Right? And then you also been allowing China for like the last several decades to come over there and get African women pregnant. So if you want to sit up there and talk about people with lack of protection, what are y'all doing? You got the utmost minerals and resources directly over there. Y'all can make the most scientific weaponry known to man, but y'all ain't do nothing. Y'all literally tripping over minerals and materials, and y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all don't even have ownership of the materials that you walk directly on every single day. Where's the protection in that? You got this festival that just set up there and went on over there in Nigeria. Where's the protection for that? For those young girls, for those women? Huh? You got African men over there that sit up there in order to stop the young girls and the women from being in a sexual type of thing early on or whatnot or whatever. Y'all want to sit up there and mutilate their bodies. Where's the protection on that? Huh? You got a lot of homeless kids. You got a lot of orphanages over there. Where's the protection on that? Y'all got a high STD rate. Where's the protection on that? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, I got videos where African men are allowing Asian men who are shorter than them to just beat them up. Like, what are we talking about? You want to sit up there and run your mouth as an African talking about what Black Americans have not set up there and done for their people? We got a variety of reasons. We have those reasons because of where historically what has taken place here. You have no excuse. You have zero excuse. Zero. You can't even utter one. You'll be like, oh, but the United States. Who told you to let the United States in? Oh, but Russia. Who told you to let Russia in? Oh, but China. Who told you to let China in? Who told you to let anybody in who don't look like you? who don't have your best interest first. Who told you to do that, dummy? Like I said, Black America's been sitting up there fighting with the police, the government, the military, all of this stuff since we've been here. We are literally the blueprint for fighting back. What is your blueprint? Nothing. You're not fighting your government. You're not fighting your kings. You're not fighting your military. You're not fighting the people that are coming directly into your land. Like I said, you got Indians from India who can literally come over there and make stuff on your property and tell you that it's only specifically for them. Huh? Huh? That's wild. That's wild. But yeah, and this is what I be talking about. And this is how a lot of these Africans start getting, they want to sit up there. Like I said, he was talking nice, but it just took a little bit of time. And it always happens. Every single time you just sit up there and let them walk, they'll take light years and they'll really show you exactly who it is that they are. And that's what you're able to see directly in that comment. Crazy work. Craziness is that you allow all the colonization that happened to you previously that got you into the same predicament that you're in to still happen in 2026. You got to explain that to me. All of the education that y'all sitting up there getting in the United States and over there in Europe and in China and in Canada, you would have thought that people would have got smart enough to be like, you know what? We're not going to do that this go around. Nope. Nope. Because your smartest left. They abandoned. They fled. And now look what's left. And yet you want to pull up to the scene. Want to pull up to the scene talking about Black Americans. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like Tippy said, the difference is we're like 13 to 14% of the population. You understand that? You understand those numbers? You over there being African, you're not a minority amongst that population. All of y'all are pretty much the same. Different tribes, different traditions, different land masses that y'all on and all that other type of stuff. But all of y'all pretty much look the same. You have no excuse. You have no excuse. On top of that, y'all are part of the reason that slavery was taking place. And also on top of that, you want to talk about no protections, how we didn't protect, stuff that happened in the past. How is it possible that slavery happened in the past in Africa and y'all still allow slavery to go on in 2026? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like I said, this is why you have a such thing as delineation taking place and happening in these United States when we're basically, y'all started it, but we're making the line finite. So it's like, all right, y'all didn't want to be black. Oh, me no black, and all that other type of stuff. I'm not no Akata, right? Y'all wanted to do all of that talking, oh, cotton picker, all that, right? So y'all on that side. So when it deals with Black Americans, FBA, whatnot, whatever, everything that's lineage based, it is us. It ain't you. It can't be you because you don't have a lineage bloodline here in these United States. It's great that your parents fled and that you were born here. That does not make you Black American. It never will. You are just Nigerian American or to a lesser extent, African American, the same as Elon Musk. Again, none of y'all could be Black American. Try again. So like I said, because of history, we have reasons why it is that certain things happen to Black Americans. Because of the population, we have certain reasons why certain things happen to Black Americans. Because of the laws, the rules, and the regulations, we have certain reasons why things historically have happened to Black Americans. Africans cannot give me an excuse on why it is that these things happen, especially on their land of which that is theirs, that they've been on for eons. I thought you were supposed to be the smartest of the smartest. I thought y'all got rid of everybody else that didn't need to be there if we're going with the out of Africa theory. I thought y'all got rid of the trash. I thought the best of the best was supposed to be on the continent. I guess not. That's crazy. Yo, what is up? We got an Officer Haku up in here for shout out to the $5 dono. He said, I'm stuck at work and all I want to do is be at home on Crimson Desert. Yeah, I'm about to play some Crimson Desert. Let me tell you, I'm about to sit up and play some Crimson Desert myself. You must be an African that just got a phone. I'm just gonna be real. You must have just got a phone within like the last few years. You do know that the greater majority of Black Americans are not in the military, right? Maybe you would have been able to say this, like, let's say if it was like World War II, maybe like one or something like that. Gulf, maybe like the War on Terror. There was another one I'm missing directly out on. Lord have mercy. The Vietnam War, right? Stuff like that, right? If you were talking about like those years, all right, you would have a nice, a high, nice amount. Now, no, we're like we're stepping back and standing down, and everybody else can sit up there and take care of that. Because, like I said, we've risked our lives for too many years and pretty much for nothing. You know, but like I said, it's crazy work though. Like you doing all of this finger pointing at Black Americans, but yet you're not talking about the problem that is directly in front of you, which is this grape festival. Like I said, you're just like the other commentators. Like y'all just want to move the goalpost, and it's like, yeah, that's not happening. Um, you think that you could escape your failures and run away and flee directly from those. But we got the internet, we got social media. So just because you don't want to talk about or highlight it, aka the shade room and a lot of these other places, y'all don't want to talk about this for 7 days. Oh, I'll do it. Oh boy. Let me sit up there and tell you, and I will sit up if at any point in time it just gets to that point, I'm like, you know what content should I do? I'll just sit up there and think about your comment on this live stream, and I'll probably use it as fuel to sit up there and do videos for like the next 7 days. Just because. Just off of the strength. And it's not even about like the views, because it's probably not going to get a lot of views. It's just off the principle that y'all want to pull up to the scene and run y'all mouths and just think that y'all can say anything that y'all want to sit up there and say and be immensely disrespectful, knowing the fact that your relatives are over here because of Black Americans. Y'all wouldn't even be over here if there was no population. You wouldn't even have made it. The doors would not even be open. But yet, this is how y'all want to sit up there and speak to us. That's crazy. We're the whole blueprint. We're the reason that y'all even here. Like I said, what y'all got, Shabuzi and Burner Boy and WizKid and all these other like artists. What the reason that y'all even doing rap and hip hop? What? But y'all got culture. What the reason that y'all even singing and doing gospel over there in Africa? Y'all ain't know nothing about that. Y'all ain't had none of that over there. That's some wild work. And the craziest part is, at one moment in time, white folks had the Bible, and then Africans had the Lamb. And now you sit up there and look around. Africans got the Bible, and white folks got the Lamb. So again, we're talking about two situations, and it still deals with this one center point. Just like you tried to say about Black Americans not protecting, where is the protection? So they tricked you out of land on religion, and they just tricked you out of land just initially. So what's going to be the third one? Because it's going to happen the third time. Because y'all just repeatedly keep allowing stuff to happen and happen and happen and happen and happen up until you got nothing left. And mark my words, all of those Chinese foreign men that come directly over to Africa that get your women pregnant, they're going to do a land grab with those kids that they abandoned. China is making note. They're going to come back for those kids later. And they're going to sit up there and say, because of Chinese blood, they have claims directly to that land. And how they're going to do it is that they're going to empower all of those bastard children with some type of money or some type of positions directly over there. And you're going to have a Chinese manufacturing plant directly over there. Like I said, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't even understand. Like I said, they over there playing chess directly in front of you. But yet again, y'all say that y'all are more educated than Black Americans, but y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see the chess move that they sitting up there doing by using DNA. That's some wild work. But like I said, keep letting them do it. Keep letting them do it. And you're going to have nothing. Just like you got nothing right now. That's some wild work. And this is when I officially say that I have clocked out of this conversation. And this is obviously an African. This is your first time on the phone. This is your first time. Like I said, the ignorance is baffling. Um, I'm pretty sure you might have an African version of Google. I'm not sure what you got. But you got a cell phone. You can listen to this live stream. You can actually Google if you wanted to find out the percentages. But yeah, because I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like doing it. It is clearly about close to 4 hours directly in this live stream, and it is 6:51 here. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Like I said, people just be saying anything at this moment in time and still not focused on the topic. So again, for anybody here listening, this is an African, this is a representative, and instead of him addressing the horrendous, abhorrent actions and behaviors of African men directly out here when it deals with the women and the young girls in their communities, instead of him addressing that and calling it out, he wants to sit up there and move the goalposts and focus on something else. So again, this is how Africa is able to get taken over. This is why Africa is corrupt. This is why a lot of things will just not get fixed, because you have a lot of people that are standing directly in their own way. Either they realize it or they don't. But then also within that, those exact same people that know that they have a problem at home, they want to sit up there and look at other folks like Black Americans and try to point out our faults and look at us with a side eye, like we're problematic for them, like we're causing them some types of issues. Crazy work out here, diabolical in nature. Like I said, it's you got it. Like I said, bit by bit, I'll be sitting by and I'll be keeping track of what's going on in Africa. 2030 and 2035 is right around the corner. Like I said, you got a little bit of time left. Y'all better figure something out. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about. Oh, my bad. I'm going into like my normal ending, like I'm doing a video. My apologies. Again, much love and respect and appreciation. I've done too many videos. Much love, respect, and appreciation to anybody who stopped by and came directly through, to the live stream and everything of the sort. But I'm gonna let y'all have directly at it. Tippy talking about a gaming stream. We are not doing a gaming stream at this moment, Tippy. I'm also hungry. I got you, Tippy. You gotta patiently wait. I got you. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all have directly at it. It's a little bit of daylight left, so order y'all some Uber, catch up on some some anime or some shows, and whatnot or whatever. Matter of fact, Tippy, I'm pretty sure that D Money is gonna have a gaming stream probably today. So that'll be something that we could all look forward to. I'll make sure to have my browser open so that the when he goes live is highlighted. Hopefully it'll do it as it's supposed to do, because a lot of times it doesn't. But I have it directly up there, so can check out the brother stream. I'll probably be playing something while listening to him play the game and whatnot. Sham said 20% of the military is African American, but that also includes non-Black African American. Out of the Mud said we have totally different mindsets. That's bars. Sham said when you look at the population wise, it's 350,000 out of 43 million. Yeah, it's not a lot. Tippy said not everyone like Seiji gets some rest mentally and physically. Yep. So yeah, peace out, y'all. Love y'all, and see y'all in the next video and or live stream. Peace out.